Dude, check the news. It doesn't matter what channel.
Like I said before, you know, I'm the one that can see John Cena. Yeah, I'm the one that knows Victoria's Secret. I'm the one that knows what the dog is doing. You know, I'm that guy. I'm him. I'm him. When I go into a gym, treadmills do push-ups. That's how it is, bro. I'm that guy.
I made that in 3 minutes, chat. Your boy's getting faster at editing.
Hello,
even
Mario.
though his system is a piece of shit. I'm him. I'm him. He is him. Treadmills do push-ups, chat. When I go into a gym, treadmills do push-ups. That's how it is. I'm that guy. Also, by the way, Smiling Friends season 2 is very funny so far. Especially the Gwimbly stuff. You're not that guy, pal. You're not. Listen. I'm that guy. I'm him. I need to come up so I can prove my guyness to all of you. Give me a second. Here I come. Hello, everyone. My name is Giraffe Stev. I'm the president of the Lawn Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we are continuing on. Hey, Kite. Hello, Doom. Hello, Morning Keeps. Hello, One Ponytail. Thank you all for coming to tonight's Lawn Boy Club meeting. We have a...
Step on up
honestly,
and see if you can throw a giant gold ring to the Long Boy's neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step on up. Come on.
You want to hit Sunset Shimmer?
Let's go, hurry. You missed.
That didn't count. I didn't have it set up.
You owe me $10 either way.
I didn't have it set up properly. Also, what do you win? Also, you don't win anything, Kite. You're literally already subbed. You're already subbed. No. It doesn't count. If it doesn't hit like this, then it doesn't count. All right. Besides, what would I give Kite anyways? They're already subbed. Thank you for the sub, by the way, and thank you, Doomslayer, for the resub. 3 whole months.
Hello, Mario.
Let me talk to you. It's been 3 months since I joined the Lawn Boy Club. 3 kick-ass months, and I've enjoyed every little second of this ride so far. Yeah. But this isn't the end yet. Nada. This is only the beginning. Yeah. That was the message of Doomslayer's resub. Thank you for the resub, by the way. Three whole months. How have you been here for 3 months? How's it already been 3 months? Also Skolunski. Hello. How are you doing tonight? Hey, Stev, is Tajiri undisputed WWE champion of the world yet? I'm still working on that. I'm in the background, in between absolutely just mutilating this cast of beloved characters, as we're going to continue to do tonight. But yeah, we are going to be continuing on with something that, if you don't resub, you know what that makes you? Dummy. Yeah. Sure fucking does, chat. Yeah. Anyways, I got some new music for all of you. Enjoy more Animal Crossing stuff. While we kind of ease into Bacon Main. Okay, so chat. If you weren't here last Friday, I should say. Rather Saturday, actually. Let me, also, when you buy a toy figure at Target or online Target, you can get a code for Ichiban Hogan. Ichiban Hogan? Like Yakuza? Like Yakuza Ichiban? Or am I thinking of someone else? She's one of my favorite Reformed characters. Sunset's one of my favorite characters just in general. They added Japanese Hogan. To what? Oh, to like... Wait, what are you talking about? I'm sorry. Oh, 2K. Huh? Give me a second. Where? Can I just unlock him in the showcase? Or do I need to buy him? He's one of those Mattel figures. Oh, he's probably in my faction or something like that. Which I won't play. I won't play it, chat. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want my addictive tendencies to come out live and in living color in 4K on twitch.tv/giraffestev. But I am ready to continue the process that we started last week. And that process is, of course, we started creating the Equestria Girls characters in 2K24 here. So far, we have 2 of them out of the 8 that we're going to be making. We have Rainbow Dash and Applejack, both of whom look profoundly sad. Rainbow Dash looks like she hasn't slept in 3 days, and Applejack looks like your aunt that you don't want to talk to at Christmas. They're a little scuffed. They're a little scuffed, but you know, that adds to the charm. That adds to the charm, chat. And if anything, the scuffness adds to what we're trying to do here, because we're trying to get all of these characters here into the game. That way we can have a big ol' battle royal, or just kind of gauntlet of matches with like all the Equestria Girls characters. So that's the mission. So that is the mission tonight. That is the mission. And you know, I'm gonna have my friend Tina on here tomorrow night to kind of talk with me through the rest of this. Yeah. It's gonna be a big old galloping gala here at WrestleMania. And it's gonna be big and dumb. But first we need to create the characters. And I'll tell you, when I bring Tina on here tomorrow, she is gonna just make me laugh the whole time and just take my focus away from everything. So, tonight we're just gonna get the hard stuff out the way, okay? We're gonna get the hard stuff out of the way. And I don't really think there's anyone that's harder than this. Rather, I don't think there's anyone that's probably harder to make than Sunset Shimmer, right? Because, like, especially, like, with the hair, that thing's gonna be a nightmare. I don't know if I can do bacon, chat. I don't know if I can do bacon on the hair, but I'm definitely going to try. But first, before we get, like, you know, into the weeds of all this, I want to show you all something that's, we've been working on over here at the Lawn Boy Club. We have been preparing for... I believe in you, Stev. I believe in you too, chat. I believe in you too. Much like I believe in Keems, because it is thanks to her that we now have a character for our Women My Rise playthrough that will be taking place after this whole ordeal. This, friends, is Gina. She is an offshoot of the world famous Gira, who first made his debut back in 2K22 almost 2 years ago. And this is essentially the offshoot of that, except rather than a high flyer, we went in a different direction with her. She is instead absolutely jacked. She is absolutely jacked, chat. She is jacked and stacked to the rafters here, with the triceps and the trapezius and the spots and the gear and all this stuff. She is ready to go. Well, visually she's ready to go. She even has the concerning spots. You can't have a giraffe mutant without the concerning spots, you know? But no, this was provided to me by one of the Lawn Boy Club's biggest supporters, Keebs, Morning Keebs in chat, and she did a phenomenal job putting this one together. This saved me quite a bit of time, because the character creation stuff, even though I love it, it would take a whole ass stream. And so now that's all cleared up. And not only that, chat, we have signs. We have custom signs, chat. We got Lawn Boy Club, follow Giraffistev, our Truth Face, and too sweet. If anything, I think it is emblematic of what we're trying to go for here with the Lawn Boy Club. Hold on just a second. You can get him, but only from buying a Target wrestler. So wait, you don't even unlock it. So wait, like you don't even unlock Japanese Hogan through my faction. You need to buy a toy. I mean, I guess I'd rather have that than like gacha systems, but you have to buy a $20. $20 for that? Hold on, chat. We're taking a detour. We're taking a detour because there's absolutely no way in hell that hold on. There's absolutely no way in hell that this figure is worth that much money. Hold on just a second. What is the figure? What is the figure name, Skolonsky? What's the figure name? Because there's absolutely no shot that it is that fucking expensive. That's crazy to think about. I don't just want to type in Japanese Hogan because I'm scared of what... because I'm scared of what, like, Google's gonna spit out. Hold on, I'm gonna scroll up in the chat. Ichiban Hogan. Ichiban Hogan. Oh! Oh, wait, this? Is this what you're talking about? Hold on. Figure. Oh my god. The Elite Collect. This is $50? $50 for that? Holy crap. I mean, I know you're not... I mean, I know that you should know better than to, like, doubt a nerd's ability to spend a whole bunch of money on cheap plastic crap. You can head to Mattel's redemption site. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. It's Target. It's Target. Target. Hogan toys. Jesus. Look at this. Look at this halfway point between, like, Hulkamania and Hollywood here. This is, like, a freaky halfway point. I don't know if I like it. I mean, the figure looks good. The figure looks good. But I don't know if I would spend, you know, $20 on it, bro. Brother. I don't know if I would do that. Well, you see, brother, that $20 is gonna go towards the Long Boy Clubhouse. I plucked him out from obscurity, dude. Now he's flying high on twitch.tv/giraffestev. Jack. I think he'd say that. If I paid him $100. If I paid him too much money, he'd probably say that. We'll add another lie onto his notch. We'll add another lie onto his belt. But yeah, chat, this right here is Gina. Feel free to shake her hand. She will be the character we play as in the Women's My Rise once we get around to that. I have yet to assign her moveset and her entrance, I believe. Although, I think we did. I think we already did that. Right, Keeves? If that's the case, she'd tear your arm off if you shook her hand. It's very, very true. Shakes her hand, gets my own hand fucking crushed. I mean, she don't fuck around, chat. She don't. Speaking of fucking around. I just tried my luck using AI to make a custom photo of Gina, and it worked kind of well, I think. I'll send it over Discord if that's cool. Sure, yeah. She would crush my whole fucking being. Princess Frosty, hello there. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I think you're gonna like the idea thingy I was working on. Oh yeah? I need to do something, chat. I need to, first of all, I need to take him down. And second of all, I need to re-upload him. Yes, Dirk got more stuff done. Nice. Sick. Go to upload menu. I'll just put this under Giraffe-Stev. Long Boy Club. Is now up. Shining Wizard himself is now up and live on Community Creations, or at least the most updated version of him. It's sent. I dread this because I dread this because
nothing beats a
cool, refreshing sip of water. I don't know if I like it, chat. I don't know if I like it. Honorable mention to Dora, who will never, ever, ever debut, but her contribution to pro wrestling will never be overlooked. So true.
Oof, my tummy.
Too many Cheetos. Yeah. Hello, Princess Frosty. Ow. Here, chat. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, here. Hold on. Hold on just a second.
Pingers.
I agree. Like this right here. This right here. Is this the part where we panic? I mean, when you look at this, why did I think Lex Luger was Ludwig Kaiser for a second? Yep, we gotta panic. Oh, it's got the AI style, chat. You know what I'm talking about, right? Why the fuck, Bane? Bane! Why do you just get slower with every single time? Why the fuck does Bane get slower every single time? That makes no sense. It makes no sense, chat. Bane having latency issues. All the latency issues, chat. All the latency issues, all at once. But yeah, Mommy, chat, what are you, no, we need to pull back and we need to discuss.
Come on,
alright?
let's go, hurry. Oh.
What the fuck?
Oh, you missed.
That makes
Or
no
maybe
sense.
You owe me $10 either way.
Okay, well, you know, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. There. Gifted sub. Thank you, Giraffe-Stev, for the gifted subs. You're welcome, Giraffe-Stev. Enjoy the gifted sub. See, I told you. Chat, I told you. It is possible. Ow. I told you. It is possible to get the fucking... It is possible to hit the ring on the neck. I kept telling you and you kept doubting me. But I am a man of my word. Why Dirk? Because you hit the thing. Because you hit the thing.
You're getting skyrocketed to the moon, Jack.
In terms of, like, Twitch stuff? Or just, like, physically? Because that's physically, we're gonna have to talk a little bit, Homunculus. I was here. Exactly. Yeah, it's possible. Slim, I keep telling you guys, it's 2%. The 2% wins out occasionally. If the stars align, you too can get a gifted sub on my dime. Although I would appreciate it if you gifted subs as well. But you don't have to. but I would appreciate it. We were here. But yeah, like, Frosty, you hit, like, the ring over my thing, right? You're getting skyrocketed to the moon, Jack. Brother. You hit the ring right on you hit the ring right on my thing. That sounds so wrong. Chat, listen. Listen.
PG brother.
What? Chat. 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 Do you think I'm lewd on purpose? Right? Do you think I'm lewd on purpose? I'm not. I'm not lewd on purpose. I'm not lewd on purpose, chat. I swear. I swear. Dirk wasn't expecting to win anything. Well, chat. What I can say is this. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. I need to do something real quick. This is so weird. No. I hate this. Chat. Chat. Hold on. Because you need to see this. Okay? This is what AI spit out for fucking Gina here. To be honest, the giraffe looks okay. You got some weird colorization here, but you know, it looks fine. It's where we get, like, look at this.
Why are you a robot?
What the? Oh, you pick up with no, look at this. I'm not lewd on purpose. That's what they all say. I'm not lewd on purpose. Chat, please don't send me to the prawn realm. Don't send me to the prawn realm, chat. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Hello, Mario.
What unholy AI thing am I looking at? I mean, like, this is what I'm talking about, chat. Every single one of these AI pictures, it's got, like, a style to it, you know? They got, like, the shading, they got the weird, like, mixture of, like, 3D and, like, weird body proportions.
Spare serotonin, please.
Oh, I need the serotonin. After seeing that shit, let's retaliate. Let's retaliate. Ooh, yes. Ooh, yeah. Let's play some Gitsy, chat. Let's play Gitsy.
It's break time. Where the
Exactly,
heck's the
you can
Cheetos,
just
my
tell.
dudes?
No, I know. It's just, it's bad, isn't it? Hee Dirg Pets Raff. I mean, you can keep doing it. You can keep doing it. I won't be upset. Why the hell is Gitsy
Make
so
no bones
low?
about it. Square's second fighting game released in the US and premier
Spare
PlayStation title
serotonin,
seems like a
please.
rush job of the
Yay.
worst kind. The graphics look unfinished. The tournament mode won't take too long to conquer, and the play control stinks. Most fighting games use the up button on the control pad for jumping, but Toe Ball uses L, which is an awkward button to begin with and is hardly ever used in games. Your kicks and punches don't often connect with the enemy when you're right in front of them. It's hard to move
Raw
around the
does
arena.
roll on after this.
Need
But yeah,
a
hey
one?
Shoujo. What's
The
up?
quest mode has
How
the
are
worst
you
control
doing
of
tonight?
all.
Welcome to tonight's
Like
Long Boy
Batman
Club
Forever.
meeting. OMG, wait, check the last thing I sent you. I'm literally
hard to memorize, and totally ridiculous button combinations are required to perform even the simplest actions.
I'm not
To
showing
simply
that.
stop running,
I'm
you
not
must press
showing
R1,
that.
rather than just letting go of the
Eder,
control
put
pad.
this shit
Why
up.
the heck let that one slip by? The weak play control.
Gotta put
which
this
gets a
thing
1
up.
on a scale of 10.
Absolute
makes the entire
dog
game
shit.
Worthy of the scrap.
Absolute
The quest
affronts to
mode,
God
where you
here.
explore a 3D dungeon, is fun to play, but it's fairly simple to figure out. The play control makes it
Like when I send you
as
this,
you must jump
Jada,
over rolling logs on occasion,
throw it up
and
there.
once you die,
put like, I don't know, like a little
That's
filter over it
Getting
too.
back to graphics, Although they are 3D, they are remarkably
To prove that I'm not
basic
lewd
looking,
at all on
hardly
stream.
convincing as futuristic. Yet the opening cinema scene is absolutely
What an
outstanding.
absolute fucking
Just another
travesty.
example of a PlayStation game with superficial fluff hiding a piece of junk inside.
Keeps us going to
We
jail.
haven't given a review this bad since, well, maybe never. But I don't think we've
If
ever
I had
played
to
a
see it,
game
so
this
does
bad
chat.
before.
Keeves,
It seems
send it to
Square's
me.
truly Square,
Alright.
in the head.
Om nom nom.
Flatheads.
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my
Okay,
dudes.
that's our weak attempt at a
Jail.
joke. But
Jail.
seriously, don't even rent this game. Don't even look at it.
This one here
The game
just
is
looks
totally
like,
unacceptable for
Spare
even diehard
serotonin,
This one here
please.
just looks like,
There's not much more we can say. We've actually
regular
covered
jail or
everything.
double jail.
The game is too short
Triple
as well,
jail.
as if it wasn't bad enough already.
Quadruple
The
jail.
ending to the
Quintuple
tournament mode is
jail.
the same for every character, except for who walks
Hey,
down
welcome
the
back to
red
Raw.
carpet
Yeah,
receive
welcome back
the
to Raw.
trophy. That, of course, depends on the character.
Hmm.
Duh. Here's an uncut
Duh.
ending with a different character. Notice how it's the same.
Notice how it's the same, chat. "1 million years dungeon," as one would say. Quintuple jail. Keeves, what did you do? She committed war crimes. She committed war crimes. This one is just weird. This one is literally just an anamorph. Hold on just a second. I need to show this. This one is just literally just an anamorph. Awooga. Awooga. No, chat. Chat. Okay, well, it's clear I need to move on before you guys get too horny. Because I don't want my stream to become that. I don't want my stream to become that. There's no awoogaing in chat. Don't worry, I'm a little wait, what? Keeps, don't worry, I'm actually Saul Goodman and I'm your lawyer. I mean, I'm Alec Corponi. I mean, already horny. Oh. Yeah. What an absolute travesty. Morning Keeves is not getting out of Morning Keeves is not getting out of jail with this one. What are you saying, oh god, to Shoujo? We've had like 5 separate moments of oh god in the stream so far, and we haven't even done anything yet. We've done nothing in the stream so far. No, show him the last one, pretty please. Listen, chat. Listen. It isn't a question of you'll behave. It's a question of whether Twitch will behave, you know? You know what? Sure. Okay. Please have the eye bleach ready for this. I present to you the worst thing I've ever seen. Look at this. Look at this shingles patient with Orangina character here. Well, wait, hold on. It's not being shown. No. Let me try again. Let's refresh. I need to show you all. I present to you all the worst thing I've ever seen, presented to us by our good friend, creative individual, and overall criminal, Morning Keeves. There you go. The absolute state of this. What is this? What is this? What is this, like, shingles patient and the Orangina character number 5000? This literally looks like it would be in, like, an Orangina commercial, you know? You look bulk, Stev. Hopefully I look better than this. This guy looks like he's wearing like a fat suit, you know? Stev, no, actually, yeah, that's you, Stev. That's not me! That's not me! That guy is very much not invited to the Thanksgiving dinner. He looks like a Fortnite skin. He kinda does, doesn't he? He's not him. He cannot see John Cena, chat. He cannot see John Cena. Like orange long johns, LMAO, they're like flesh colored. Like, in respect to him, they're like flesh colored. He may as well be naked. And that's partially why I didn't want to show you this. Because it looks like he's naked. It's a good thing it's an animal. It looks like a JoJo stand. Good God. Oh my, what should you? Nani? Dirk need bleach now. He looks dangerously cheesy. God, he does. He looks like Cheeto dust encrusted. And done Beansley with AI, maybe forever. So Daisune. Oy vey. Mein Gott. Oh, I don't know, chat. I don't know how we move on from this besides just this. Dude swam in Cheeto dust before that photo shoot. That sounds like something that like an Origina commercial would do, you know? I mean, we've all seen the famous one in where there's a kidnapping, right? We've all seen the famous one in where the giraffe woman kidnaps a man, right? Actually, wait, that's Cheeto does. Keep homunculus away from him. I don't want to think about that. That's sickening. That is sickening.
Cheetos? Where?
Nowhere. 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 Nowhere.
Father, you're back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There are no Cheetos and... Okay. Fuck. Okay. Which one are we playing?
It seems as though the battle
Oh my
between
god,
Nintendo
this shit.
64 and PlayStation
Swimming in
will
Cheeto
be
dust,
directly
but can't
related
get
to
it out of
players'
your
choices
clothes.
between Super Mario
Hi.
64
Hi,
and
Billy
Resident
Mays here
Evil.
with
These
the
games are
brand
the
new
beachhead of their
Cheeto
respective
Way.
systems. But which is better?
The most
Well, let's go
absorbent
through this point by
material
point.
I've ever seen in my
Mario has
life.
motion during gameplay, but Evil only has it during the hands-off cinema scenes.
And so they're just like a sponge that's like in the shape of the homunculus's face.
Is there serotonin, please?
Now you can soak up the Cheeto dust and leave your
If you
controller
say so,
completely
Dad.
clean.
I'll keep my sniffer out for the stench of that yummy goodness.
So what's the bottom line? Super Mario 64 wins by a close call.
You already got a lot
It's
down
more
there. It's
visual and
okay.
immersive than Resident Evil. However, to our knowledge, no Nintendo
Swimming in
64
Cheeto
game
dust,
voices and
but can't
dialogue
get it
yet.
out of your
Is there
clothes. I love it.
And we
serotonin,
hope that changes.
please?
It's not just the graphics that players want. The Nintendo 64 is still very
Hi,
young, though.
Billy Mays here
Super
with the
NES
Cheeto
didn't
Way.
start off with Donkey Kong Country quality, so don't expect tomorrow from the N64 today. We still have to wait for the 64DD, as it's called. This disk drive add-on
The
will be
only
used in
sponge that
N64
allows you
games of
to
the future.
swipe
All this talk makes
and
us wonder,
steal the
what's
Cheeto
going on
dust
with Sega?
right from any
Well,
surface.
Listen to the soundbite from Sega president Tom Kalinske.
The unique design makes it so that
You can't take arcade games, advanced computer graphics.
the unique design uses cheesy technology, so that way, when you when you apply it to a surface, it won't pick up the water, it won't pick up the milk,
Well, look, Sega,
it won't pick up the
if all this is
PewDiePie
true,
G
then
Fuel,
why aren't you on top?
it will
You make
just
a
pick
game
up
like
the
Mario
Cheeto
64,
dust
and then we'll
and
talk.
leave it
Until
cheddar
then,
free.
We rest our case.
See? No trace of gamers in sight. More Take a look at this. This man here has more Cheetos per square inch in his household. But thanks to Cheeto Way, that slate is wiped clean. I'm guessing you don't want to see AI Hulk Hoofin. I really don't. I kind of do though, chat. I kind of do want to see AI Hulk Hoofin. That'd be so fucking strange. It'd be so weird. It would be the weirdest thing. Order it now and receive it sooner than you would or ordered it later. I'm gonna get executed for that one. And it could be yours too for the low price of only $3.99 a day. Okay, chat. We actually do need to get to work on things. We actually do need to get to work on things. I will upload a couple more things. What the fuck? Hold on. I need to upload a couple things. That way y'all can use them too, if you want. We're gonna put the Long Boy Clubhouse logo up here, chat. Where is it? There it is. Right there, chat. And it can be yours. 32 easy installments of only $79.95. Just pay shipping and processing. But you gotta call now. Here's how to order. Did any of you ever buy stuff like that? Like, when you were a kid, did you ever see any of those and you were like, I want that? I remember I got, like, there was like this one that was like, you were supposed to like, okay, so like, it was basically like a cake tin, right? And it like sold itself on, oh, well, you can have cupcakes, but they're giant, right? That's one I wanted. I think we did get it. But, like, it's literally just a cake tin. Like, it's literally the most useless... It's the most useless product of all time. You know? Because, like, oh, well, it's a giant cupcake. Isn't that just a cake? Right? Isn't that just a cake? And moon sand, God, I haven't had moon sand. I haven't seen a moon sand commercial in a while. You don't really see ads like that anymore, not unless they like take up 30 minutes of airtime, right? Like, for example, you don't see the Hulk Hogan, grill anymore, right? Like, you don't see the Hulk Hogan grill now, you know? You just don't see that kind of thing anymore. Hi, Billy Mays here with the all-new cake tin. The most efficient way to bake a cake in 45 minutes. It's literally just a cake tin. You make the cake mix, stir it in there, and in 45 minutes, you might have a cake. Also, the Magic Bullet infomercials are legendary. Oh, chat. We're getting fucking distracted again. God damn it. We're getting distracted again. But I need to show you this. You're gonna slap my nuts. You're gonna slap my nuts. You're gonna love my nuts. Chat, have you seen this before? Look at this.
Whatever.
You cannot talk
For less at Harbor Freight.
You cannot talk about, like, crappy infomercial products without talking about this thing.
You're about to be mesmerized. It's here. It's wild. It's sweeping the nation. It's
Fushigi! It's made from man-made, strong, long-lasting steel.
Fushigi, like, I don't know what it is, but it's the coolest thing ever, and I can do it.
Hi, I'm Tim Goey, and this is
Who the hell is Tim Bowie, though? Big Bird Bailey! With the Long Boys, girls, NBs, and AGs.
Hello,
Welcome
Mario.
on in, everyone. Have you ever heard of Fushigi?
You're about to be mesmerized. It's here.
Hello,
It's
Mario.
wild.
It's sweeping the nation. It's Fushigi! My favorite thing about this, right?
Spare serotonin, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for the raid and everyone. For those of you who Or unaware, my name's Giraffe Step. I'm the president of the Lawn Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we are supposed to be making Equestria Girls characters, but I honestly don't know if we're gonna get to them because I keep getting sidetracked.
Hello, Mario.
Oh yeah, I saw this stupid thing making its rounds on G4 TV at dark 30 in the morning. Like, this was always on, like, Nicktoons and stuff like that. I remember this thing. It came with, like, a DVD. And, it came with, like, a DVD, right? And it was filmed in, like, a dude's basement.
And there's a few things that you should know about your Fushigi ball. First is that before you attempt any sort of the manipulations that you'll see us doing today, you should watch the DVD and learn, because the ball does not float on its own. You'll need to learn.
It's also made of, like, solid metal. Like, there's nothing special about
Mario.
it. Are you back? Hi. 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 Hello there, everyone. Hello there. Hello there, I think it's Aljamar, I think. The guy who made Fushigi absolutely would have done crypto had he been a generation younger. He absolutely would have. Absolutely. Oh man, I thought it floated. Damn, I want my money back. They make it look like
Mario.
I never had one of those Fushigi balls. I didn't either, but I wanted it. And I'm glad my parents didn't get it, because there's nothing special about this. It is literally just a metal ball, and the only way that you can, like, do anything with it is if you're already, like, you know, knowledgeable about, like, manipulation and stuff. It is literally the biggest party trick of all time. And it's, like, really heavy too, apparently. Like, I remember people saying, like, they had one and then they dropped it on their floor. And it just it dented it. BRB, gotta delete some cursed AI photos off of my computer. LOL, do it.
Before you can create the illusion of levitation and gravity defiance.
Fushigi ball were like 15 pounds of solid aluminum. 15 pounds. Maven here, and for the past 8 years, I've been playing with my Fushigi ball.
To be able to see how the sphere is moving while we manipulate.
At the next wrestling convention that Maven's at, I need people to, like, ask him if he's ever played with a yo-yo ball.
You're about to embark.
Like, look at this. It's, like, edited and filmed like it was made in, like, a sewer.
We hope that you embrace it and hone your skills. You're about to embark on an amazing journey and become part of the legacy of contact juggling.
You gotta love the GIF up there that they have.
Contact juggling.
The best use for a Fushigi would be to huck it through someone's window. That's literally probably the most useful thing you could do with it.
Kept still in space. Now what I'm doing is moving my hand around the ball, not the ball around my hand. And there's 3 very simple motions to make this possible. You put it in front of your collarbone or in front of your chest. Move your hand up.
Now he wants me to embrace my balls.
Side,
that's what he's saying, chat. Are you cool enough to embrace your balls?
Again, that's up, side, twist. Up, side, twist.
Like, look at this.
Going through these motions with a little bit of
it is a complete party trick.
of levitation.
And how much were they wanting for this? I need to know. How much were they wanting for this thing?
Fushigi. Call now.
Fushigi.
I want to buy it now.
Fushigi. Call now.
Why is this the most, like, played thing here?
You would love one of those. I want to buy it now.
Fushigi.
Call now to order Fushigi, the magic gravity ball, for only $19.99. And when
$19.99.
you a free DVD that will teach you everything you need to know to unlock the secrets of Fushigi.
Scientology's a hell of a drug. It really is. I want to read these comments. It's like totally like the coolest thing ever. Emo girl. I get it now. This is hardly different to a normal ball. They're just using skilled contact jugglers to market it. Hilarious. It literally is just like a heavy metal ball. If you want to do the same thing, just like go and like get the fucking like ball that you play with your rather that Just go and get the ball that you use to play fetch with your dog. Or just get your own balls. That would honestly be more useful than that.
PG brother.
I'm sure this works with a tennis ball, LMAO. It probably works with your own balls. Honestly. Call him Duke Dukem. Wait, call him Duke Dukem because he has balls of steel.
Step on up and
Jeez.
see if you can throw a giant gold
But yeah,
ring
chat.
around a long boy's neck,
Should we actually
ladies
get to
and
the thing we want to do
gentlemen.
tonight?
Come on, let's
Nuke
go, let's go,
Dukem.
hurry. You missed. Or maybe you didn't. You owe me
Now after
10
this,
bucks
we
either
have
way.
another fantabulous product. Sunshine Shimmer EQG Rumble Edition. Now with bacon hair and fancier boots. The unique design makes it so that the hair is actually bacon. You can eat it without getting food poisoning. Kiss hospital bills goodbye. The healthcare industry won't see a dime from you with the Sunshine Shimmer EQG Rumble Edition. Hey guys, Maven here. Hey guys, Maven here, and this is Fushigi! The AI website wants me to... Jax McFiddles, thanks for following. You're a member of the Lawn Boy Club for life. How are you doing, my friend? Hopefully you're doing well. Thank you for joining tonight's Lawn Boy Club meeting. I can't make fucking notes with my setup here. Hold on just a second. There you are. There you go. God, chat, do we actually like want to do the thing that we wanted to do tonight, or do we just want to like laugh at things like Fushigi? I want to hear Sunset Shimmer's VA sing the Bacon Pancake song for Adventure Time. Yes, I'm doing some Helldivers. Nice. Hopefully you're having fun over there. I've been kind of just pulling through Fortnite. We could do a poll. There will be no poll. We
Fortnite
gotta
Save
do this,
the World
chat.
is a hell of a drug.
It really is, isn't it? Makes you actually think that Fushigi is a worthwhile investment, for one thing. Hey guys, Maven here. In the past 20 years, I've been using Fushigi. Using Fushigi is an incredible therapeutic form of relaxation. The art of maneuvering a reflective sphere through mind and body isolation and manipulation. There will be no poll. Perish. Burn in hell. We will work on EQG stuff and you will like it. Chat, we're literally like an hour into this and we've not even done anything yet. We've done nothing yet. We need to make Sunset Shimmer.
Needs to be destroyed, not me though. I'm just a little guy who wants to nom on Cheetos smile.
Cheetos smile. Happy Cheetos smile. I've been on more unproductive streams. We gotta make that fucking content. We do! We do! We absolutely do, because they're not gonna make themselves, chat. Now, what are we playing during this? I think we gotta play Dragon Roost. Alright. So like I said, chat, although I probably shouldn't even say anything at this point, because I'm gonna be 100%... Holy crap, she's like a dreamsicle. Perfect. There's definitely a TikTok somewhere in this first hour, so Pog. One of Equestria girls were in Fortnite. I mean, remember, chat, you can clip moments and make sure that I see them, too. In fact, yeah, if you see, like, a moment that's, like, weird and funny, please clip it. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out later when I'm trying to find clips. To send to my video editors for, like, some more, like, you know, higher quality editing. it really, really helps with that. If you need a 3-day model of Sunset Shimmer for better reference, let me know and I can find you one. If you can find me one, I would really appreciate that. Because I'm gonna be 100% for real with y'all. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this with the bacon hair, you know? I don't know how it's gonna be done, but we're gonna fucking do our best. No! No! Okay, good. Good. She's gotta be veined up, chat. She's gotta be, like, veined up. There you go. Get this giraffe some 3D models on the double. I need them. They will help me out immensely. Wait, no. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We are not done yet with this character. No, do not upload. We gotta go back. We gotta go back. Yeah, go and please find one so I don't need to expose myself to the horrors of the world. That would be preferable. Alright, chat. Let's figure out where Sunset Shimmer's from. Sunset Shimmer. There's gotta be, like, sunset in here. There's sunshine. Come on, dude.
Nothing beats a
cool, refreshing sip of water. God damn it. You can't have anything in this game. We have Shimmer. We probably don't. But I just want to see. Nope. Not at all. Found you a few. I'm gonna check the general chat in Discord. Where's Sunshine? Sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. There you go.
It's almost time for a 120
Is it?
seconds
Fuck.
minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
I found you a few. Check the general chat and Discord. Let's see here. I think that these will be helpful. That right there is probably what we want to go for. Let me do sun here. You gotta love how she's like T-posing, chat. Hold on just a second. I don't think that this is what we need, actually. We need, like, this. God, this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be so hard, chat. But before we go any further, we need to run an ad, unfortunately. I'm sorry, chat, but I need to appease Father Bezos before he comes knocking on my door. Well, it's gonna start here in just a sec. Bezos, you want money? Money. Tax break. Wealth hoarding. Cutting salaries. Layoffs. Poverty wages. Factory work.
It's break time.
Oh, okay,
Where the
that got
heck's
him.
the Cheetos, my dudes?
Phew. That got him, chat. I said the magic words.
Based on the classic multi-million selling Super NES game Super
Let's
Mario
have
Kart,
Sunset
the
hanging
first
out
Nintendo
here.
64 game released by Nintendo
Raw
in
rolls on after
1997
this,
is
exactly.
Mario Kart 64. It combines the thrill of a racing
You know,
game
chat,
with
that's why I
signature
love you.
Miyamoto gameplay.
That's why I love
In
you.
this case,
You're here to
mystery
fill in the
items
gaps
scattered
when
in
I'm
various parts of the track,
when
which
I'm
either help or hinder each racer.
slipping.
The game gives players a true feeling of racing a
You fill in the gaps when I'm just way too when I'm too much of a slippery boy to remember my gimmicks. Ow.
Since racing games by their very nature move at blistering speeds, the other video game systems can't produce the graphics fast enough, causing environments to literally pop onto the screen in a most unrealistic fashion. The speed at which Nintendo 64
Cat sneezes
the graphics
at like a breakneck pace, chat.
Compared to that of
He's so strong.
This is a game the whole family can play, since Mario Kart 64 uses 4 controller ports on the front of the system. It features split-screen play for up to 4 players. The game also features more than 16 courses, a battle arena mode, and includes 8 characters from the world of Mario.
I love the layering of like the music on this Gitsy here. It's great.
Battling each other in the wackiest racing game ever made.
Mario Kart 64 is fun to play, except when you're losing.
But the challenge
Chat.
lasts for about a week. Only
Do
racing
you
fanatics should pick
do you agree with that? Do you agree with this? With this assessment? I need water. Really should have eaten before I came on stream. That's gonna bite me in the ass as we go through this.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. I'm just watching the closing ceremony. You haven't eaten. Stev, I had a ham sandwich before coming on stream. I've not had a meal, though. Mario Kart 64 was fun to play for about 10 minutes before Crash Team Racing came out. Are you more of a CTR guy? I will say that I do have more fun with CTR than I do with Mario Kart, usually. Well, I don't know about that. I would say they're kind of on the same level for me. I'll never forgive Activision for how they handled Nitro Fueled, though. Stuffing that shit full of micros. But, like, these days, that's so tame, you know? Like, game companies routinely do stuff that's even worse than that. Which is, you know, shitty to say. But it is true. A lot of them are just straight up terrible. Back with more Raw. Let's see here. Sunshine. We need like a sh word, right? Shaggy.
Nothing
Sean,
beats a cool, refreshing sip
Sheffield,
of water.
Sheik, Sheldon, Sherman, Cheryl, Shields, Shirley,
Hello,
Showboat,
Mario.
Showstopper. What the? Hey, Britt! What's up? Welcome to tonight's Homeboy Club meeting. I'm back without bits, though. It's alright, don't worry about it. I'm glad that you're here anyways. Welcome to tonight's meeting. Shy Girl. Sunshine Shirley. That's what we're going with, chat. Hey, Sunset, can you, like, move out the way, please? Art Fang, thank you for resubbing for 8 freaking months. It's absolutely insane. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Your contribution to the club will not go to waste. Hopefully you are doing at least better since since we last spoke, my friend. Is it always worth it to ruin the top of your mouth for cereal? Well, it depends on what cereal it is. Like, if you're eating, like, Crackling Oat Bran or something, no. There's absolutely no... There's no reason to do that, you know? There's absolutely no reason to do that.
Hello, Mario.
I'm doing better, yes. Good. Good.
Squiggly Miggly didn't kill himself. He was a victim of the worms.
Very true. I did watch the new Smiling Friends, though. It was very, very fun. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Let's see here. Now, where's she from? Well, we said last time that everywhere would be a fictional place. Everywhere's gonna be a fictional place, chat, so let's decide on this. Why am I such a mark for cornflakes? I don't know. They're like the most mid of the cereals. The internet, that's pretty good. Another time. Area 51, Avalon, Camelot. We can do Camelot. Although I think we should save that for Twilight. Elysian Fields, Every Man's Nightmare, The Garden of Eden, Mount Olympus, Mustache Mountain, The North Pole, The Other Side of Darkness, Out of This World. Out of This World's pretty good. I like that. In fact, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, chat. I gotta say that she's a little prideful. We're gonna mix in, like, the Reformation and the pre-Reformation stuff here. Who would you vote for, Jimble or Mr. Frog? You know, I gotta go for Charlie's position, you know? I agree with him. In this world, we are peons. It doesn't matter if it's Jimbles. It doesn't matter if it's Jimble or Mr. Frog. They're both terrible, you know? I'd say she's pretty aggressive. There you go. No, I would say Desperate's probably more of that. There you go. What the fuck? Okay. Chat.
Mr. Frog 2024.
Okay, chat. I'm going to do something here, okay? In an effort to make sure that this doesn't last all fucking night, okay? I'm going to turn off Gitsy for now, and we'll have it play during the
which could use a little adjustment. The game is virtually
we'll have it play during the thing.
It overwhelmingly frustrating for younger
Rather, we'll have it play during the ad breaks.
Probably not win the game. Like all
No, it's
games,
fine. It's
the
fine.
key
Don't
to
worry about
success is
that.
practice. The controls for the
Don't worry
Barcelona
about it.
level are as follows. To shoot fireballs, press right. To shoot
We already get
lilies,
enough
press
Gitsy
up or
thanks to
down.
the ad
To
breaks.
shoot lasers straight
I didn't know what it
press
did.
X.
Sorry. No, it's
To
fine.
shoot
It's okay.
lasers at the
Don't worry about it.
railway, press A. To shoot lasers down,
Don't worry about it.
press B. To stand still, press left.
That is on me for
Try to
allowing
hit
it to
green
stay
switches,
there.
And in the bloodstream level, be sure to touch Slime and Joe whenever he appears to blow him up. Bottom line, good luck. The game is hard. If you
I really want to
wanted
switch
play a
out
game but
Gitsy's
couldn't
again,
decide
Chad.
on
I
which
feel
one, look
like
no
that
further
we're...
than Bart's
No,
Nightmare.
Britt, it's fine. It is A-okay. Do not apologize. Do not apologize. It's just, I need to turn that off, otherwise we will literally be here all night. Because it is 75 minutes into the stream and we have not made really any progress on this. So drastic times call for drastic measures, chat. I need to betray my code of ethics in order to create Sunset Shimmer, evidently. I'm sorry I had to let you all down like this, but it was, it just had to happen. It had to happen, chat, in order for the greater good to happen. I hope you understand. I hope you understand the plight of the long boy. I would say she's pretty aggressive. There you go. Ooh. Let's see. Okay. So, before we do anything else, we gotta do this hair, chat. we gotta square away the hair, because that's gonna be the craziest fucking thing. Thankfully, all we really need to do is focus on the back. Something like this could work. You should have seen my face when that happened. It's okay, don't worry about it. I promise you, you are fine. You are A-okay. It is time for bacon. Yes, exactly. But the question... we could just say fucking and give her this. But no. I'm no coward. I'm no coward, chat. We're doing this and we're doing it for real life. She doesn't have any hair that, like, goes over her shoulder. Super Saiyan bacon.
Hello, Mario.
It's time to go even further beyond. T-Dude, hello there, my friend. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. First time chatter. Hopefully you're doing well. We're probably gonna have to find this stuff. Hey, thank you for the follow. You're a member of the Long Boy Club for life. How the heck did you find us? Did you just find us through the recommended stuff? If so, that's crazy. There's been a shocking amount, like, of new people who have, like, shown up, like, primarily based off of the recommended stuff. Yeah. Nice. Well, it's good to have you here. Her thing is, like, a bright red, right? Like, probably this red. Right, chat? It's probably this red. T-Dude. Yeah. Cool. Cool. I'm glad to see you here. It's like ketchup red. Yeah, exactly. And now we need to do... Let's chat. Are you ready to see the worst thing that you've... Are you ready to see, like, the worst, like, coloring job that you've ever seen in your life? Because if not, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. Because it's about to happen. There's really nothing we can... And there's really nothing we can do about it. All we can do is strap in and just hope it's over soon. Here we go. No, it needs to be larger. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Well, that actually doesn't look too bad. Actually doesn't look too bad, chat. God damn it. Look at this shit. She can Oompa my Loompa any day of the week. Look at this. This is, like, actually gonna be so terrible. This is gonna be the worst. Who peed on my girl? It really does look like a E-stroke, though. Let's fix that. Well, that looks fine. That looks okay. Kinda. It ain't any worse than their normal getup. No! They're... Look. Are you actually going to sit there, okay? Are you going to sit there and tell me with a straight face that this fit doesn't slay? Are you actually going to sit there and tell me that? Are you going to sit there and tell me that? Well, no, I'm going to lay here because I'm in bed. Fair enough. But my point is, I meant the streaks in her hair, and they ain't worse than her normal get. No, but, like, look at her hair. Her hair is good. Her hair is good. It's very wavy and crazy and stuff. You know? It's very wavy and crazy and shit. We just gotta capture the feel, you know? We gotta get the vibe down. Oh, chat. But chat, the more I look at this, the more I feel like we fucked up. We fucked up, chat. We fucked up big time. We need to reset the die. We need to not go vertical. We need to go horizontal. Look at the hair. They dipped her hair in mustard and ketchup. And she's beautiful for it. This is so fucking strange. Look at this. Look at this. How do you deal with this? What about this? It may be worse horizontal. It is. It is worse horizontal though. But like, that's how it is in the picture. You know? That's how it is in the picture. Well, that doesn't look too bad, though. Oh! You need like a ruler on your monitor to get the lines right. Well, the thing is, I'm using like a controller. So like, it doesn't even like matter. I mean, if you squint, you can tell it's sunset, right? Let's go back to the 3D model. Let's go back to the 3D model. Like, chat, look at this. Okay, so like, I'm seeing that like, the yellow kind of like branches off almost, right? The yellow like branches. Like that. Like that, chat. Almost like that. Oh! Chat, we're cooking. We cooked! We actually cooked! We kinda cooked! Look at this! Oh. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that, chat. It just looks like the yellow is like it's like centering up and then it like goes off in lines. From the back though, it looks pretty good, honestly. From the back, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit gnarly. But like, you can tell that's sunset shimmer, right? You can kind of tell it's sunset if you squint a bit. You just gotta take pictures of her good side. Exactly. Get her good side. Now then, chat. Now here's kind of the fun part, right? Now here's kind of the fun part. The other stuff that's not the freaky hair. That's not the freaky hair. So she has like turquoise eyes, it looks like. So that's kind of what we want to go for. Like a lighter version of this, maybe, right? Something like that. That. Yeah. That, chat. That's what we want to go for. That's what we want to go for. Yeah, look at that. She doesn't look completely horrified. Every single one of these look like every single one of these look like that they are depressed. Every single one of these look depressed. How can we make Sunset Shimmer look like she actually wants to be here, chat? How can we make Sunset Shimmer look like she actually wants to be here? Oh, chat. You want to see Nightmare Fuel. You ain't seen nothing yet. Fun eye makeup? Maybe. You ain't seen nothing yet, chat. Okay, how do I get to face deformity? There.
Step on up and see if you can throw a giant gold ring around
Face
a long
texture.
boy's neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step on up.
Let's see if we
Come
can
on,
get it.
Come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hurry
Ah, Solonsky,
Ah,
you
you missed.
suck.
up. Or maybe you
Skolonsky,
didn't.
you suck.
You owe me $10 either way.
More like Sucklunsky. Okay. Face deformation. Let me move this out the way real quick. Oh my god. I'm prying it open, chat. I'm prying it open. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're in pain. She looks horrified. She does, though. That's Sunset Shimmer if I've ever seen her. That's crazy as fuck. She's like struggling to blink, chat. What have I done to this person? Anyway, let's move her back up. So, the fit here is kind of like fivefold, right? We need to have like a blouse. Rather like two blouses almost, but one of them has to be like longer than the other, you know? One of them has to be like longer than the other. Something like that almost, but not exactly. That kind of looks like her like nighttime fit from like Rainbow Rocks. Holy crap. That is a let's see. You would find that in tops, yeah. Can't wait to see her teeth get kicked in by people like John Cena and Roman Reigns. Oh, she won't be fighting those. She'll be fighting, you know, the other Equestria Girls characters. But before she can do that, I need to, yes, women. Yes, women. That is what we're making here. Long Boy E-Fed, where it's all this. I would need help at that point. I'm not making a whole roster of this on my own. Fuck. The only reason I'm making all this myself is because if you go onto community creations and you search up these characters, you get nothing. Like, there's absolutely nothing here. There might be a dress in the outfit section that fits that light blue top. There might be, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're probably gonna have more luck here. Well, we found Flurshy's thing. Yeah, kinda. We can give her Samurai Greaves. I don't think we should, though. I don't think we should give her the Samurai Greaves, chat. Personally. I don't think we should give her the Samurai Greaves. That's probably like the closest fit though. This thing is probably like the closest one. Or this maybe. You know what? I'll go with this. I'm willing to accept just this. God, I'm remembering that one woman that used her hair as a whip and gave another girl a scar in WWE. Oh, what? Bianca Belair? Oh, yeah. She, like, uses her hair as a whip. That's kind of like one of her, like, trademark things. Now, we need a jacket. We need a jacket, chat. Not that, but probably something that's close to that. Like, maybe even something like that. Let's see what other options there are. Oh, that's close. But it's not exactly it. That checks out, TBH. It does, though. If we give her the right jacket, it'll be good. And I think that this is the right jacket. Or even something like this. Something like this, I think, would be perfect. Also, I know it's been a while, but rest in peace, my man, Eddie Guerrero. I love that, man. Eddie Guerrero was special, yeah. Gone too soon. Let's see here. That's close to what we want. I have good news. I'm almost halfway done with my web project I've been working on for the past 2 months. That's freaking awesome. I really, really hope that works out for you. Okay, well, this right here just looks like that she's on her way to a meeting. This is probably the fit that we're gonna have to go with, chat. That kind of works. This here works, I think. Let's make it a darker shade. Bring it all the way down there. If only we could add, like, some stripes. Actually, you know what? We can. We can add some stripes. Let's add some stripes, chat. Because we got, like, some orangish sort of things going on there. It's like up along the upper arms, right, chat? So something like this, maybe, I would say. It should. I just have to be very careful when developing the back-end stuff. I don't want any accidental security problems. Absolutely. Don't rush on that. It seems like you're putting a lot of work into it, and that is absolutely commendable. I'm very proud of you for sticking that out. That's good. I think that's good too, chat. Again, if you squint, it looks like Sunset Shimmer. A little bit.
Hello, Mario.
Son, hello there. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. How you doing tonight? We're making EQG. And, well, you can take a look. You can take a look at this for yourself.
Alright.
Jesus Christ. Homunculus. Tone it down a little bit, why don't you? Tone it down a little bit, why don't you? It's weird because like one of them's also like more brownish in nature, you know? One of them's a little bit more brownish, so this is probably more of what you want, really. This right here is probably more of what you want. God, it's so scuffed. I can't look at the face, chat. I'm using my normal dev model where I implement stuff for 2 weeks, then test and fix the stuff for 2 weeks, or until it works, and repeat. If you really squint, you get very close. You get very close, you can see it's her. Then fix the face. I don't know how to fix... Listen. 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 How do you suggest I fix the face? Give me a suggestion on how to fix the face, wise guy. There you go. I don't know, add some salt and pepper. Got it. I'll keep that in mind when we go back. Let's see. Now then, we need the big boots. It's got like arrows up top, chat. And you don't want like the big like fucking wrestling boots, right? You want something that's like in the vein of this. Or even this, right? Or this, in fact. In fact, let's zoom in. Computer enhance. What are the shoes like? Okay, so they have like an incline that goes upwards. Maybe make her a little less yellow. You're right, yeah. She kind of has like that orange-ish going on here. You could take Natalia's boots. I could, yeah. They need to be like curved upwards in order to get the true feel. Let me try to find it let me try to find something that can kind of get into that realm. Something like that, maybe. That's probably the closest that we'll get. These armored boots are fun.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Let me see if I can snooze the Cheetos break, my dudes. Damn it, chat. We spent so much time just looking at Fushigi and shit that now I'm starting to get a little tired.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Rolls on after this. I blame Fushigi for all my issues.
Like Illusion of Gaia,
as would
Earthbound
anyone
comes
with
packed
a sense
load
of
hints if you need them.
credibility to their name.
Earthbound is an easy RPG, but Nintendo wanted the game to be easy so it provide constant, uninterrupted fun. Earthbound has so many comic elements to it that Nintendo doesn't want you to give up on the game and never see those funny scenes. Earthbound is the first RPG
I've never
to be
finished
set in modern
Earthbound,
times.
chat. I've tried
You
it
save your
before. It's
progress
very
by
fun.
calling your dad over
I've
the telephone
never beaten
and
it, though.
refill your energy by eating pizza. Speaking of pizza, you can play the game
game
with your left hand and eat pizza in the other, since the game can be controlled with the L button, which lets you talk and check. Otherwise
What
known
kind
as
of a
search,
point is
and
that,
the control
chat?
pad to move. Prepare to visit several places: a clubhouse, arcade, burger shop.
You should have saved that little ditty for something like a Street Fighter or something. You can play the game with your left hand and eat pizza in the other. Should have saved that shit for like Street Fighter 2 or something. But yeah, Sunset Shimmer's coming along pretty good, as you can see, Joe. She's a promising young gal. She's ready to take on the world with her very upsetting disposition. It's great. It's all good over here. It's all fucking good over here, chat. Okay. Yeah, I need to like make her just a tiny bit
Nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
tiny bit lighter in shade. Hey, welcome back to Raw. I just need to make her a tiny bit lighter in shade, and then I think we'll be good. It's crazy because I don't even think the boots... I don't think the boots have laces to them, chat. They're just like these greaves. Yeah, they got like a belt. They got like a belt. They're like Kingdom Hearts. Welcome back to Raw. They got like a belt on there, chat. It's like Kingdom Hearts. Something like this would probably be our best... No, those are the spurs that we gave fucking Applejack. Shit. Oh wait, no they're not. No they're not. But they're in the same ballpark. They are also cowboy boots. I enjoy these. We'll go with these here. I think that this is probably where we want to go. It's like rubber. That's crazy. And it's the same thing on the bottom too. I'll make the buckles whitish, so that way they at least have some contrast. They stand out a little bit. I need to make an arrow. I need like an arrow for these. An arrow pointing up, like a little arrowhead for these. Yes, that! Exactly that! Exactly that! Finally! Finally, chat, the game is actually giving me the shit that I want. It took forever, but it's finally happening. It's finally happening, chat. Well, slap my nuts and call me Rarity. You found it. I did! I did! I'm finally able to find something in this game that's, wait, hold on. Hold on just a second, chat. I'm gonna try and do this for like one at a time. Because the way that this is like structured, it makes it so that wrapping around is it's a little harder than you would think. Like something like this. This is good. Let's rotate it up. There you go. And now you want something that's like orangish. Light orange. Like that. Exactly that. Her thing looks like it's about to blast off, chat. The dress looks like it's about to blast off. Chat, he's doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing a thing. Chat, are you proud of me? I'm doing a thing. Oh, I'm doing a thing, finally. This is awesome.
Spare serotonin.
Yay! Yay, serotonin. Yay. 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 I think I need some to perk me up a little bit, chat. There you go. Dragon Roost, let's do it. That's honestly like pretty close in terms of like the clothes we're going for. That's probably the best that we've done so far with this. That's probably the best like attempt that we've made at this so far. Let's Try and make her a little more YOLO. Something like this, maybe? And where it looks like that she has a bit of jaundice. Like, I'm trying to make this sunset shimmer and not, like, jaundice, you know? Jaundice shimmer. Like, she isn't so much orange as much as she is Sunny D, I realize that. That's honestly probably the fit. That's it. That's it. Right there. She's taken one too many blows to the liver. What the fuck? Go back. That's it. I think. A Town of Cinnamon. Thank you for following. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Does this look like jaundice to you? Does this look like jaundice? I don't think it looks like jaundice, chat. Oh, that looks so good now! That looks so good! We are doing things and stuff. Hooray! We're finally doing something. We're finally doing something with ourselves. It only took forever, but we're doing it, finally. I like this. Chat, I think we did a good job with this. I mean, the face, I feel like we could de-age it a little bit, though. Like, no, go back. My little Jondry, my little Jondry. Ah! That's them,
Hello, Mario.
That's them in the ER. I just got here, I didn't do anything. Well, you just did something. You chatted in the chat. Hello there. But please, I get scared easily. I will try not to do stuff like that. Well, that's kind of like what happens when you like type in here for the first time in a stream. It's just a little hello Mario thing. That happens every time you chat in a stream for the first time. It will not happen anymore, though, for the rest of the stream. Use your hello Mario wisely. Facial parts. Chat, I'm thinking that I need to make the face, like, not so scary, like this. Oh, I did not use that wisely at all. Heck. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna move this out the way. Try and get these things back to normal. That's pretty close to where it was before, I think. That's okay. I think that's a-okay, chat. Honestly, I think we're good with Sunset. I think that's good. Yeah, not to vent, but facial redraw can get easily wonky. It can. Give her a Joker smile. I mean, that would, like, ruin the point of what we're trying to go for. We're not trying to make them look creepy, we're trying to just, like, make them look like the characters. And I think that, for what we did there, we did good. Speaking of doing good, best character time. It's time for Twilight. Platonically speaking, she looks nice. She did, yeah. It's now time for Twilight Sparkle. We're doing both versions of Twilight, too. We're doing the one that is native to the human universe and the one that is not. This one, I feel, may be easy. It might be. It might be. Book horse. Book fucking horse. That's the best one, chat, and I will not be taking any questions on that. Why am I getting, like, lag on my, like, friggin' Elgato all of a sudden? And all I know is that this girl is the best and also a sociopath. She is not a sociopath. She is...
Twilight bout to make my nuts sparkle, baby.
What the fuck? No, she is not. What the fuck? No. We're not doing that. Not doing shit like that. Not doing that. Not doing that in this house. She's book lover. I'm sorry, just randomly popped into my head. Well, I appreciate you sharing with the class. Now go to the back of the room. Go to the back of the room.
Hello, Mario.
I'm sorry, what the fuck was that? Listen. It's fine if we all just move on from it. We all move on, and we give the book horse pet pats. Like so. Okay, this fucking lag's gonna get me. I'm sorry, Jared. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I will say, though, generally, I am a not very lewd streamer. You know, I like to joke about, like, you know, butts and, you know. Well, I was doing a bit. It was funny. What was the bit? What was the bit? Alright. Here we go. Anyway, how the poem creating going? It's going. It's going, in fact. And it's going like so. Check this out. That's crazy as fuck. Holy shit, indeed. Is this what we want to go for? No, it's fine. It's fine. Move on. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
For life.
Thundotron. I had to read that again. I had to read that like a couple times. Thank you for following. You're a member of the Long Boy Club for life. I appreciate it. How are you doing? Who the heck is Thundotron, son?
Hello, Mario.
Heyo, Devin. We got quite a few people in chat now. I was just doing a fake disappointment or something akin to that. It is not funny except to... Ow! Bam. That wasn't very nice. That was not very cool of you. Alright, chat, I'm gonna be honest. If I take a disproportionate amount of time on this, forgive me, because Twilight is my favorite. And I feel that she would be an absolute twig. You can't rush art. Exactly. We're making art. It's art, chat. We're making it here tonight. Those pits of eyes that we're about to just completely and utterly fuck up here. Time makes perfect. You can't rush perfection. Exactly. It's like the Toy Story 2 thing. Oh god, Long Boy got a concussion. I'm used to it. I mean, at the very least, I still know that there are 385 days in a year. needs to make it worse. I know that there are 385 days in a year. And that Hulk Hogan tells nothing but the truth. Ow. And that Hulk Hogan tells nothing but the truth anytime that he's in an interview. It's gotta be like a deep purple, right? Something like that. Like that, chat. That's what we want. Spoiler alert, the only thing inside the Money in the Bank briefcase is a family-sized bag of Cheetos. No kidding. Or maybe not, brother. Or maybe not, brother. I'm sorry, this is the only Deadlock reference I... Dude, we here love ourselves a bit of Deadlock, alright? That's all good. Let me tell you something, brother. When I'm not getting my balls licked by Brother Brutai, I'm watching My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, dude. Making recipes out of the Pastaroni out of the Pasta Mania cookbook. One ponytail. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ever just think about that fake Hogan? Friendship is Magic, the most manly show in the world. Ever just think about that fake Hogan that was on an Indian newspaper? No, I've never thought about that. I don't even know what that is. They wanted to put Triple H on Mount Rushmore, but his nose was too big. Oh, don't bully Triple H like that. Hogan eating a hoagie. It's more likely than you think. I just had to... Listen, I had to get it out of my system, okay? It's now out of my system, we can move on. Geez, Steph, how much more do you need to get out of your system? Listen, I only get like 2 opportunities a week to be here, so... You don't know how much I'm just like bottling throughout the week, you know? It was a guy who pretended to be Hulk Hogan. He literally got on a huge Indian newspaper while being obviously not Hulk Hogan. I don't know, man. Rowdy Piper was my favorite back in the day. What is back in the day for you, if I may ask? Because I will admit that even though I like joking about Hulk Hogan and stuff like that, Hogan is a little bit before my time. I know enough about it to make jokes, but in terms of like actual exposure, let's say the early 2010s, that's about when I started too, actually. Not to note his out-of-ring stuff, I dig Hogan's in-ring stuff. Hogan is one of the best characters in wrestling history. I don't really think arguing. She brothered on my boot, on my... She brothered on my Brutai until I booty man. Why Piper is dead. He died in 2015. Yes. Yes, he did. When... She machoed on my man till I became savage. I honestly wager he was a great wrestler in general, though that comes with defining what is good wrestling. I mean, good wrestling is different to everyone, you know? It's a different thing to everybody depending on who you talk to. Okay, so she has bangs, which makes it a little hard. Which makes all this a little hard.
Nothing beats it.
Cool, refreshing sip like this right here. This is not Twilight. That's something completely different. That's not long enough. That's too braided. I will say, chat, one theme throughout all of this is settling. Like, that is what we've had to do for like the majority of this whole thing, right? That we just had to find shit to settle with and be happy with. And sometimes it's not the best thing, but it's what we need to do to make this work. So that's kind of it. Kind of. Too much bang. I still am Team Savage till I die, though. Savage is, like, legitimately just, like, one of the best of all time. Like, I don't really think that there's any, like, conversation to be had there. He just is. But no, Twilight has a specific hairstyle, and I just don't think we're going to be able to find it here. It's way too specialized. What we could probably go with... But I like conversing. Okay. Would you like to argue why he isn't? Would you like to argue why he isn't, chat? Personally, I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible. What's your name? Stan? Stan. Kick. See, I just kicked Stan. What is that game called? What game? Well, the one I'm playing. Okay, listen here. It runs away. Exactly. Correct answer. I'm not even kidding when I say this, chat. The closest thing is probably a mullet. It's probably shit like this. Not that. Shit like this is probably as close. There's gotta be bangs around here somewhere, you would think. Well, I mean, more in general discussing why he is good, because it is interesting to hear if the other one is at least honest and earnest. I mean, the reason why Randy was so good is that he really was like a 5-tool player, you know? He had like everything. He had the look, he had the charisma, he had the wrestling ability. He was very much the whole package, you know? Oh, this is in the ballpark of what we want, chat. It's in the ballpark. Something like this. But... this might be it, chat. This might be the one. That's well said, in my opinion. I honestly think that Savage had, like, more upside than Hogan did. It's just that Hogan was, like, better at, like, you know, politicking and getting his way. Or at least that's what it seemed like from the outside. I asked my MLP friend about Twilight because some nerdy... some nerds Mary Sue pretends that you can find friends in a book, but it actually works and she becomes Super Saiyan. Is this true, chat? I mean, I think that Mary Sue is overused. The top part is straightened while the bottom is wavy. I feel like this is as close as we're gonna get, chat. I mean, we really do need to do something about this face, though, because it doesn't look like Twilight. It looks like your aunt. I don't want a whole thing of ants, chat. Well, maybe once we, like... Maybe once we put some, like, clothes on her. I have opinions on the dichotomy of Hogan versus Savage and who is better, but none of them can really be explained easily. Oh shit. We forgot something. It looks like Vin Diesel's sister from Fast and Furious. I hate that. I hate that, actually. Makes me want to scrap the whole project now. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to scrap it. We are going to see this through. Because I'm actually having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun figuring this shit out, chat. So he has... okay, so she has, like, hot ink, right? Hot ink, damn it. And it's on the left side of... It's on her left and our right. So something along the lines of... I'll make this bigger. This. My god. Ah, no, chat. No, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. No, chat. It's no good. It's no good. Moonlight Sparkle. I hate it. Okay, so the hot ink is like towards, it's like further along. So maybe along here-ish, I would say. Here-ish is probably where you want.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Doesn't need to be like fatter. Get out of town. We're already almost at it. No, we are not. We are not at another break. It's not happening. Here's a question. Would a wrestler with a mobster gimmick work? I feel a mob boss character would only work if he wrestled when he needed to get his hands dirty. I mean, there is Tony D'Angelo. He is very much a mobster character. And people seem to like him. So, you know, I say it's out there, and I would say it already works. So.
Hello, Mario.
Sax. She has to look like a nerd. I know, but it's hard to make her look like a nerd. Instead, she like looks like the aunt at like Thanksgiving you don't want to talk to. You know? She doesn't look like a nerd. She looks like the aunt at Thanksgiving. You don't want the aunt at Thanksgiving. You want the book horse. You want the best horse here. The best one, and I won't be taking questions. There you go. This streak here keeps getting in the way. Tony Mamaluke did that in the late 90s WCW, if I remember correctly. D&D over for the night. How we doing, chat? Do what rom-com flicks do. Give her glasses. Listen, the glasses version's coming later. Don't worry. The glasses are coming into play later on. Don't worry. I wish the game had bangs and a wider selection. I do kind of wish it had a wider selection too, but... You know, I suppose that they don't really expect you to, like, try and make pastel colored characters like this. They expect something more realistic. But we don't want realism. We want colorful horses. That's all we want out of this life, you know? Like, listen. Everyone's making, like, Kenny Omega, and everyone's making, like, MJF and shit like that. Nah. Nah. The boys have had their fun. Now it's the men's turn to have some fun. If UDW can make it work, so can you. It is just like George Wood said, chat, realism's getting boring in video games. As proved by Helldivers. Honestly, not that bad. That doesn't look too bad. Based on the hair alone, if you squint, you could say that looks like Twilight Sparkle. You know? A town of cinnamon. But yeah, Soul, how are you doing tonight? Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. This is pretty low key so far. I'm surprised we got like over 20 people in chat right now. This is insane. This is actually crazy to think about. I appreciate everyone being here though. And just watch me do this. It's just like Mike Tyson said, holy fuck, is that a talking pigeon? Mike Tyson mysteries represent. My mob boss character is more similar to Vito Corleone. Rather I'm Vito Corleone from The Godfather. He's absolutely ruthless, but also has a sense of honor. Oh god, her eyes are so sad. Listen, that's been a theme for all of these. All their eyes are sad and they all look so old. Like, when you look at this, you don't think, ah, yes, Equestria Girls, that's awesome. No, you think, man, can someone please get them just something to hug, right? Twilight, as she failed out of school. It looks like Twilight in like an anti-drug PSA. Hey, Inspira Cool. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Twilight's just EP. She's like that one.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break.
Hello from
my
Canada.
dudes.
Hello. Wait, do you have the Iconics as your profile picture? Twilight 20 melatonin deep. She just can't get to sleep, dude. Someone come over here and help a sister out.
It's break
Anyways,
time.
we gotta run an ad
Where the
chat.
heck's
We're
the
almost on
Cheetos,
after
my
this.
dudes?
When you're dead inside but still want to brighten up other people's lives. That's the Twilight we know and love. That's the princess of friendship if I've ever seen her.
And now we're going to power up the Virtual Boy.
Ow!
Virtual Boy has
I
three
want to
major
run now
components:
so much BC I need
the
money
head
for
unit and
Cheetos.
controller. The stand is packed flat. So you
I
want to
mean,
take the stand,
listen,
spread it open,
we'll get a
and then
lot of
set
money
it
if we
firmly
just
on the
allow
table
the Virtual
with the
Boy
feet facing
infomercial to
forward
play.
for support. The head unit has got to be connected with a controller. So insert the controller into
I've said this a million times, I'll say it a million more times. Only George Wood could make setting up the Virtual Boy sound like astrophysics.
And do it gently from the back.
You need like a doctorate's degree in order to figure out how to play the Virtual Boy, chat.
Down to open up the support bracket so it doesn't go in
I got a
tightly.
French chat and I
Release
don't
the
speak
spring,
French.
And then gently tighten it up with a tension
C'est le
control knob
franc.
here on the side. Once you feel tension, just turn it slightly upwards until it catches. You don't need a lot of tension here. It just needs to support itself. The next thing you want to do is load in your batteries. Your batteries are in the controller, the front panel.
Hi, my name is and this is crack, rock cocaine.
Load into the slot here, 3 up and 3 down.
Yep, sure do. I'm a big wrestling fan and a big fan of the Iconics.
And then
The Iconics are pretty fun, yeah.
The final thing is to put your game
I know they're not
cartridge
really in the
into place.
business anymore,
Game
but when they
cartridge
were,
goes
they
into
were
the slot
very
underneath
fun.
The Virtual Boy. Now you have to be careful when you push the game cartridge in. You want to make sure that it
Holy
connects
fuck, we're
firmly
looping.
all the way in the
We're-
back, because if it doesn't connect
We're looping
properly
the Zelda
when you turn it
music.
on,
We
you
need
won't get anything.
we need different music,
so you want
chat.
to make sure that the game cartridge is in place
I'm gonna put on
properly,
Cookie
so when you
Clicker
turn it on,
music, okay? When we come back.
you hear it. Virtual Boy does not have a video output port because it would only send out the signal of one of the layers of the 3D graphics. Remember, the images of Virtual Boy are created by your eyes, which
your eyes,
oh,
chat.
excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw.
What we're showing
your
you
eyes, chat. They are completely made by only your eyes.
So please be aware
this guy seems like he would be played on Christopher Walken. He would play by Christopher Walken for the biopic.
Graphics and gameplay. So
what
far, we've played Mario's Tennis, Galactic Pinball, Red Alarm,
and Spiracool. What are you talking about? Hey, Fizzy Imp, welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I never buy one. It's a killer on the eyes and neck. Well, listen. That just means it's a challenge, and I need to get it for myself. I need to get it for myself. If it's neck-based warfare, then I will win the war. Alright? I'll be the one that wins the war. No, we need... And now we need kind of like a... We need like a top that has like puffy sleeves. Right? Close, that's close, but it needs to be like longer. Close. You can talk to the iconics on a site called Brand Army. Is it like a cameo thing? I'm gonna be so upset if we need to settle again, chat. WWE 2K24 now on the virtual. Oh no. My dudes, LA Pone has to go to sleep for the night. But don't worry, folks, you can bet your asses that tomorrow night here on twitch.tv/draft said there will be more than just the Marshmallow and the Longboy present on the stream. We witnessing the great way, the undeniable Kavorka, the one they called the Megastar, the Every Pony Sing. What the fuck?
Hey guys, T-Dude here. I've taken control of this giraffe's brain to tell you to never mix Red Bull with cocaine. On God, I'm so high I think I just heard Jesus Christ say those macho saints savage. And smite my nutsack.
I am going to tell you to lay off of that, my friend. What the fuck? Yeah, good night, Steb. Good night, Doomslayer. I am going to say right now that I don't know. Hold on. I would like to not be talking about, you know, like OnlyFans stuff, if that's okay. In fact, no, it is okay. I don't want to talk about that. There was like an over-the-shoulder top that looked pretty close. I think it was further up there. All right, let's check it out. It's a scam. I mean, I don't fucks with any sites like that. So, something like this? I don't know. I feel like I know where this will go. This is probably gonna go to Nerd Twilight. It's probably gonna go to, like, the human Twilight. Rather the, like, native human Twilight. It was on the far left somewhere. Let's see if we can find it again. Something like this, maybe? I could see that. I can kind of see that. Let's try it. I keep laughing every time I see the Jester outfit. It's very fun, yes. Kind of like a bluish. Like that. Yeah, that works. Maybe they have a bow in the neck accessories. You're right. Yeah. Let's go and check. Let's go and check that. Let's go and check it. Wait, give me a sec. I should ask my GF who my favorite pony would be.
Nothing beats it.
Cool, refreshing sip of water. Thank you. Not settling today. You fucking said it. But I will say, chat, I know that we joked about horniness in this stream tonight, but I would request that we keep that talk to a minimum, because personally it just makes me feel uncomfortable. So, maybe... So, you know, let's keep it a little more clean. Right? Need, like, a little tie. Something like that. It's close. But it's not really what I want. Necklace. You tell me you don't have a bow in here? There's no shot that you don't have a bow in here. Come on now. Come on now. Fuck. Let's see. Tomorrow, get to meet former WWE star Leo Rush at an indie wrestling event. That's awesome. I heard he's fucking incredible. But no, my favorite WWE wrestler. That's very hard. That's very hard. But if I had to pick one, it is weird to not see a bow. I know. I know. We need to fix this before it gets any more awkward. Hold on just a second. We need to fix this before it gets, like, any weirder. No, these are, like, way too big, right? Those are, like, belly button piercings.
Step on up and see if you can throw a
Alright,
giant gold
let's see if we can
ring
do it.
around a long boy's neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step
Apparently
on
I
up.
would
Come
love
on,
Twilight,
come
so I
on,
think I'm
let's
gonna
let's
stay in this
let's
call
hurry.
right now. Is there no
you
bow?
missed. Or maybe
I'm
you
not
didn't.
seeing a bow.
You owe
Also,
me 10 bucks
Skolonsky,
either
you
way.
suck. I'm trying to find it, chat. Duck floaty works, I think. Basically the same thing. I mean, like, listen. If I genuinely cannot settle on something, we'll go with the duck floaty. Just for laughs. We can give her a choker. A choker does not work for Twilight Sparkle, though. The selection is garbage. I mean, it's garbage for our purposes. If we weren't trying to make something that's, like, accurate to, like, you know, the show, then these selections would be fine, mostly. What? Let's go! We did it, chat! We fucking did it! We found the bow! Woo! Let's go! Yeah! Why is there no tit sound playing? Let's go! Yay! Yay, I need to change the material though. Oh yeah, this calls for serotonin if I've ever seen it. Yes. 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 Yay. Yay, we did it, chat.
Let's go, I'm so proud of you, Dad.
Yay, thank you. The first time you've ever been proud of me for anything. Alright, now we need to make this into the proper shade. That's so close, chat. In fact, if anything, we can make it, we can go one step further. Oh, chat! That's so good! That's so good! That's so fucking sick!
Hello, Mario.
Oh, I met Shaggy 2 Dope last month at the Insane Clown Fest. That is almost spot on. I know! I know! Chat. Chat, holy fuck, can you believe that we still have like half of the clothes to find for this? We still have like half the clothes to find! God damn! This thing is gonna take forever! Good lord! What the fuck? It's gotta be like frilly. Like this, right? It's gotta be like a frilly skirt. Not like that. Just the jolt we needed. Adrenaline in my soul. Now go get those pony clothes. I love it. Platonically speaking, a beautiful giraffe like you will have no problem. Oh, thank you. That's just like I made a ton of custom wrestlers in 2K16. Well, we're making quite a few of them here tonight. Like this, chat. We'll just make it all the same color. Right? Okay. We'll make it all the same color. There you go. Chat, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to add the cutie mark onto Sunset Shimmer. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. We're okay. Also want to make a Sandman Classic and a broken Matt Hardy. I mean, you can definitely do that. I made a Tommy Dreamer and WCW Billy Kidman. I love seeing people's, like, creations, especially when they're, like, spot on. Like, a lot... Like, there are creators in, like, the community creations that are just absolutely mental. Some of them make stuff that is just, like, out of this world in terms of, like... This... What the fuck? Hold on, chat. Give me just a second. Give me a second. I gotta fix something here. We're gonna save Twilight here. First of all. Because I need to get her cutie mark back into the game. I need to get her cutie mark back into the game, chat, because somehow it's not here anymore, even though I literally uploaded it last night so we wouldn't have to go through this. But, evidently, that did not happen. So I need to go... And Shimmer, you just said, I don't have her thing in here either. I don't have her thing in here either. I thought I did. I literally uploaded all that shit last night. I literally got it. But the game didn't save it. Exactly. The game did not save it, chat. Twilight Spa. Yes. Incredible. So hold on, chat. In fact, this would be a good time to take a break. Let's take a break right now. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll be back in a few minutes, chat. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to creating the equestrian ants in WWE 2K24. Hello everyone.
Mario.
Hi Ashley, how you doing tonight? Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club Meet. I'm gonna say this right now, and this is not to like make people feel bad or anything like that, right? But I need to like make a rule where like we don't have any like fucking self deprecating humor in this joint. And that's something I need to work on as well, because that shit's lame as fuck. You know what we need to be doing? We need to be just constantly like just bigging ourselves up to like ridiculous degrees. That way, when we fail, it's funny, and when we succeed, it's more triumphant. Self-deprecation is bullshit. It doesn't humble you, it just makes you feel shitty, you know? Yeah. Be on your shit. Tina's chat is horny and it annoys me. What do you mean? We're not we're not gonna talk shit about, like other people's chats in here. You know? Got it, I'll be on my shit. Hey, 5 more followers this week. Congrats, Stev. I came on here with like 845, or rather with like 840, you know? But no, like, yes, exactly. Listen to Keebs. Chat is so handsome, cute, and pretty. Yes, everyone in chat is handsome, cute, and pretty. And then the moment when you aren't, it's funny. But when you are, it's like, fuck yeah, you are. Fuck yeah, you're handsome, cute, and pretty. But no, like, okay, I know this seems hypocritical, but Reed, this is mischievous. Please and thanks. I am going so bad at my work I'm doing so bad at my work right now, Tsihi. No, you're not. You are trying your best, and that is what anyone can ask for. That's what anyone here can ask for. You're trying your best. And you know, if you suck at it now, you will get to a point where you won't suck at it if you keep going, and then, you know, you'll be able to say you don't suck at it because you'll have the proof to show that you don't suck at it. Be the best possible clown. Like, make the fails the most fun part. Yeah, exactly. I am not going to try my best on these wages, you beautiful platonic horse. Well, listen. Whether or not you want to try your best at work, that's totally on you. But, like, listen. I don't want to hear any, like, oh, haha, I'm so shit in this chat. No. Every member of the Lawn Boy Club is great. Okay? Everyone in the Lawn Boy Club is great at what they do, and they try their best. So, yeah. That is what we're gonna do from now on, chat. Deal? But yeah. Second of all, the thing I was gonna say, chat, I tried banning a bot and succeeded. You did! Exactly! See? Anyone could do anything they set their mind to. Including banning shitty follow bots. I'm on my pretty shit right now. I'm doing great pilled right now. I feel great and happy. Incredible. Great, incredible. I mean, if you're genuinely not feeling good, then, you know, that's one thing. But, like, you know, a lot of people say that I'm getting on a soapbox, and this is not, like, you know, this isn't, like, the big question that I was, this isn't the big question that I was posing, during the break, but I'm gonna bring it up anyways. A lot of people say that the deprecation, it keeps you humble, but I genuinely just think it's just shitting on yourself for no reason, right? Or rather, like, it's shitting on yourself for, like, no good reason, you know? Oh man, we need, like, stockings, don't we? Like that, yeah, like that. Shit like that is what we need. Do you wear thigh highs? Like, that is probably in the ballpark of what we really need. Actually, yeah. Oh, Tiny win today if I'm hyping myself up. I made a great omelet today. You sure did. And not just Twilight. Now it's Twilight Sparkle, not just Twilight without sparkles. So true. So she needs her boots. And they gotta have, like, those big, like, soles there, right? They gotta be, like, big bona fide boots. They can't just be, like, shoes. They gotta be, like, the shoes that your, like, dad walks in with. They gotta be, like, the big brown boots that your dad walks in with. Exactly. It keeps you from joy. Especially in the modern day, when like we all have so much shit to deal with, right? We all have so much to deal with. Why are we spending any more of our energy just putting ourselves down? Because it makes us seem humble. The only thing it makes you seem like is that you hate yourself. You know? You know, like if you do, then you should get help, obviously. But like, you know, why wouldn't you want to like big yourself up? You could give her kick pads with the same back color and make it look like it's bigger than it is. I could, yeah. But yeah, mini rant, I guess, over. It worked for Wizard. It did, yeah. I just need to give her some, like, boots. To, like, actually have, like, some elevation to them. Not that. Something with some actual defining souls. Good point, CVH. I'll keep check on my beautiful self and not make chat feel uncomfy. Thank you. And that goes for everyone in here. I'm tired of this I'm depressed and I want to die era, especially in music. Where's the let's create peace 90s and let's have a party tonight 2010s? I want those eras back, and I never lived in the 90s because I was born in 2003. Too bad you can't give her legitimate hooves like the super old wrestling games. Remember when you could have a robot body and lobster claw? I want that back, you know? Oh, that's perfect, chat! Do you see this shit? That's perfect. Oh no, it's not though. It's not entirely perfect. It's not entirely perfect. It's not entirely perfect. Modern CAW is certainly lacking in options. It definitely kind of does. It kind of does, it feels like. Or maybe... I mean, maybe we're just not, like, looking in the right places, but it definitely feels like we're... It feels like we're lacking in options, you know? I think stuff like COVID and recent division have contributed to this depressing era. Well, like, I don't want to go too deep into that rabbit hole, but I do think absolutely just like society in general has become just more jaded, you know? It's become a lot more jaded, a lot more isolated, a lot more divided. But like, you know, I don't feel like that necessarily needs to be, you know, the case for like everything. Do they have high thigh socks? It might be a good compromise. It might be, yeah. It's mostly a situation where they haven't really rebuilt it up after a generation. Hop even back when they did in PS4. They kind of have a hookfish look if you turn your head right. A little bit. A tiny bit, yeah. That, I think, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. But no, like, in general, I just kind of wish people would spend more time bigging each other up. Or just bigging themselves up, honestly. And less time tearing themselves down because they think it keeps them humble. Because it doesn't really. All it does is just keep you from feeling joy. That's what I think, anyways. This makes her look like that she's ready to take on anything, chat. Look at this. Look at this absolute queen shit here. We're on some queen shit. But yeah, there are like stockings that you can put on your guy. They're pretty high though. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. That's so close. That's so close, chat. Those. I cooked. Put you down. Remember how great you are, and you deserve it. Yes, exactly. That's perfect, chat. Look at that. The only thing is that...
A+, my dude.
Hell yeah. This calls for some Cheetos. First, we need to make sure that, we gotta make sure that she actually, like, looks... I guess young. I guess young, chat. Because I'm trying to... Yeah, it is perfection, chat. It's actually great. I don't know, like, there's gotta be a way to, like, make it seem like it's not, like, ancient. Right? I mean, this doesn't look too bad. Wait. What about facial parts? No. Facial structure. Right. Let's see here. I think one of these kidnapped me in their flying saucer. Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know why, chat, but when I look at this, I think of Twilight Sparkle. She still looks kind of old. But when I look at this, I think of Twilight more. I had enough of comparing myself to others and bringing myself down years ago. Now I look at any small numbers like it's a handful of friends in the room with me. My enjoyment went way up. Seriously though, if you look at stuff like that, if you try and like focus on what you have, it becomes a lot like easier to not feel as bad about what you don't have, and even like easier to work towards what you don't have. You know? Look at this. This doesn't look too bad, does it? It's missing the laces though, isn't it? What the fuck are these shoes that you wore, Twilight? Why did you wear these? These shoes make absolutely no sense. These are the most nonsensical shoes I've ever seen in my life, chat. Can you explain them? Because I definitely cannot. Hi, Billy Mays here with an exclusive pair of shoes that you will never find again or use again, for that matter. I feel like I've seen worse shoes, but I can't say where off the dome. Book horrors.
Ara.
I agree. Hi, Itsune. Welcome to tonight's Lomboy Club meeting. Doug Dimmashoot. Doug Dimmashoot.
Spare serotonin, please.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Mario.
Steve, hello. Hi, Itsune. Welcome to tonight's Lomboy Club meeting. Everyone is welcome in the LVC, unless you're a bigot or a hateful person, in which case you're not. But If you are not a hateful person, welcome. You'll like it here, probably. I like this. Do you think someone made a Doug Dimmadome COD? Oh, yeah. Or in the Longboy Gang. Exactly. The Longboy Gang may suck, but they don't have bigots in them. As far as I'm aware. But not the LBC. You have to buy flavored meat snacks for... but not the LBG. You have to buy flavored meat snacks for that. I'm pretty tired. I'm very, very tired, my friend. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm making the Equestria Girls characters in this game. And it's been touch and go throughout it, but I've been having a lot of fun during it. I'm having a lot of fun during it, and... Well, chat seems like they're enjoying it. Are you, chat? Are you enjoying what I am providing here? Are you enjoying it? From standing 7 feet tall? Yeah, you could. You do sound kind of eepy, friend, but stream's still cozy. Hard work pays off. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. I got one more in me, chat. And I feel like we can do it. Especially if we copy and paste what we had over here. But I don't feel like we can keep a whole lot, unfortunately. Oh, did Scott Hall say that? Yeah, he said it during his Hall of Fame induction speech.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Alright, chat. Next up. Character number 5. This one. Just let me go grab her. There, that one. This one. We're making Twilight again, but this time it's a nerd. This time it's nerd Twilight. And obviously, chat, we haven't even gotten to, like, stats and shit like that, right? We haven't gone to stats and shit like that. Once we get to that, I promise you, it is going to be, it's going to be something. It's going to be something else. My god, what if I just make her, like, really muscular? I like this right here.
Get heap if you need it, father.
I don't need it. I don't need it that bad. Alright? I don't need it as bad as you would probably think. I don't need it in so much as I need to finish this, you know? I trust Seth will go to bed when he needs it. Thank you. I'm an adult giraffe. I've ate my vitamins. I've said my prayers. I've had a play on my binky. I'm responsible enough to go eep when I need to go eep. I've read my books. I've done everything I need to do.
But did you drink your milk, brother?
You vape your vitamins. I ate my prayers and said my vitamins. Did you drink your milk, brother? That's a good question. I need to go and check the fridge, huh? Well, if I'm doing Twilight, it needs to be, like, the same. Right? It's gotta be, like, the same.
Did you take your Styles serum, Jack?
Well, the Styles serum make you, like, eepy. If anything, I would just think it makes you, like, really, really aggressive. But I don't know. I've never been on the juice, brother. So I can't say for sure.
Introducing new Hulk Hogan injectable vitamins. Grow muscles fast with one dosage. Caution, this product is illegal in 44 states.
Billy Mays and Hulk Hogan team up for an infomercial. What the fuck would that look like, chat? What the fuck would that look like? That sounds horrible. I feel like the two Twice could be like Billy in early Power Rangers, when they pretended David Yost wasn't shredded. So one buff, one not, LMAO. It's funny that you say that. Hey guys, Maven and Billy Mays here. Now from 2002 to 2006, I had the coolest job in the world. I created custom wrestlers for the Giraffe Twitch stream. This one should be easier than the other ones. I just need to find one that's got some bangs to it. Which, given the options, I don't know if we're gonna do. I think Maven giving up any chance of doing anything with WWE again is well worth how good his channel is. He is genuinely making like the best content in the entirety of wrestling YouTube. Like the stuff that he's doing right now, no one else is doing it. He has a style all his own, and that is not something that that is not something a lot of people in the space can say for themselves. You know? It's like a Bailey fit. I don't think I like that. But like, it's weird because the hair, right? I don't know if you're seeing this, chat, but it's got like bangs, bowl, and and a ponytail. It's got like a three-way combo, and there's absolutely no way that you can like match it. You know? It's just not gonna happen. Partially. It's the trifecta, exactly. This depressing world is the reason why I'm a brony. Listen, brother. Stevie Richards would be on the push Fushigis on people. Would be the one to push Fushigis on people. I will say that out of all of the grifters, Stevie Richards is the least annoying. I think that Bischoff and Bully Ray take the cake these days. Russo has kind of like subsided a little bit. But in general, I think that like Bischoff and Bully Ray are the most obnoxious. It's the trinity of hairstyles. You'll never be able to get it. I'm gonna lurk a little bit. I gotta go to the groceries. I gotta go grocery shopping. Be back soon. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, Keeps. Thank you for the lurk. Which is wild because Bully almost has good points sometimes. He does, but then like he fucking always like turns around to friggin' argue in bad faith. You know? Stevie Richards kind of amazed me with how well he stayed in shape for that long. You gotta admire the hustle. Okay, I'm going with this, chat. No, I'm not. Fuck. Pick one, Logan. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. It's this one. That's the one. Ew. But no, like, Bully almost has good points. Bischoff, meanwhile, never has any good points ever. And I will go out on a limb to say that. I've said it. I've said it before, but I'll keep saying it. There's gotta be something that, like, went down between him and Tony Khan, right? Because the amount of hate that he has for both the promotion and seemingly the people in it is like down astronomical, you know? You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, you know, oh well, AEW is perfect or anything like that, because they aren't. I've talked about stuff I didn't like from them many times. But just in general, I don't really think Bischoff is someone that we need to be taking seriously in the big 2024. You know? I don't think he's someone you need to be taking seriously. Especially, like, when you take a look at his track record. Like, everyone will tell you all day long that, oh, Bischoff was the one that took, like, WCW to the next level. Yeah, and he also partially caused its demise. You know? And not only that, he did the same with TNA. It is partially because of him that TNA has never been able to recover. You know? I know it's obviously not just him, but, you know. It is partially because of him. I'm back from pretending to be professional for a call. What did I miss? You missed me bitching you missed me bitching about Eric Bischoff. No big deal. Doesn't look too bad so far. But, like, obviously it needs to be better. Let's see. So nothing important. Oh, Stev, there's been about 4 cable episodes of TNA this year. What? Wait, I wanted to watch Mike Bailey, so I started trying to watch it. I've heard good things about TNA. Like, I've heard that, in spite of, like, them completely fumbling the bag on what was supposed to be, like, a comeback era for them, they are still, like, trying to do good stuff. And that's something to be commended, right? That's something to be commendable. I'm glad they aren't just completely destroying in the towel again. But fuck, man. Fuck. Fuck. Also, Teenage Rebellion on the same night as AEW's Dynasty, I think, did 500 pay-per-view buys. I don't think it was the same night. Well, when we were comeback era spearheaded by another company's top guy, it's a hard ask. Well, like, listen. I don't necessarily think that was kind of... I'm more so kind of talking about, like, like the recent one, right? Like when they first rebranded back to TNA. Like there was genuinely a lot of buzz, right? And they had a good, solid first episode of, once again, TNA Impact. And it was good. All was fine, And then they fired Scott D'Amore, and the moment that they fired Scott D'Amore, you could just feel all of the enthusiasm and goodwill just go flushed right down the toilet, Like, you could hear it just leaving the room. It was out of there. It was out to lunch. Never... out to get cigarettes, never to be seen again. And it just hasn't recovered from that. And genuinely, like, at this point, I don't really know what they can do to recover, They had everything right there, and because of, like, I don't know, some, like, shitty power grab, they fumbled the bag. They absolutely fumbled the bag. I'm going to say the same thing every time. Push Speedball to the moon. He is their best talent, hands down. I will be... You know what? No. I like Speedball. I like Speedball a lot. I don't know. I've always preferred WWE. AEW and TNA have good stuff, but I could never get behind either company for whatever reason. I will continue to say that WWE is not my preferred wrestling. That would be AEW. That is my preferred wrestling right now. Even though it's kind of uncool to like AEW right now, I do still like them. And I enjoy their presentation style more than WWE's. Because there is a larger focus on wrestling. But what is your preferred pay-per-view? What do you mean? Not even... Oh, wait. TNA is a story of almost on repeat, which sucks. TNA had a real shot when they tried to be WCW. They did. They did. TNA is always like... I'm trying to think of a good example. TNA having Dolph Ziggler on there is such a perfect, like, poetic thing. Because Dolph Ziggler was always the almost guy, you know? At least it feels like he was like the almost guy for a long time. So, like, the poster child for almost being positioned as a top guy for the almost promotion, it's a match made in heaven, practically. Oh, that's so good, chat. That's actually good. We're going with that. We're going with that shit right there. They signed Matt Hardy, Sami Callihan, and one other person. I forgot. I forget too. I'm doing my toesies woesies in 90s. I am doing like a consecutive watching thing. Taking some ex-WWE people will always happen with how big the Fed is, but it's what you do with them is what's important. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, look at Bryan Danielson, right? Literally all he wanted to fucking do was, like, wrestle at the level that the WWE wasn't letting him do. And, you know, Tony Khan is letting him do it. Or, like, you know, the people at AEW are letting him do it. And I do think that that has had a... I do think that is largely why his run in AEW has been so fun. You know? It's largely why it's been so fun.
Hello, Mario.
Yeah. Fight the Dragon. Hello. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I'm so out of touch from AEW and WWE that I am just nodding nicely. It's okay, don't worry about it. Think of what AEW could do with Chad Gable. I think that what they're trying to do with him in WWE right now is pretty cool. I would want to say, like, let them cook, right? I would say let them cook with it. Because I enjoy just kind of like, you know, like the stern, like, heel character that just berates his faction. Alright, so nice we gotta find it twice. Where is that ribbon? Where's that bow? There it is. Chat. And Chad Gable getting real heat from me. Hunter has been cooking so far. I'm mega not worried. Don't worry. I'm owning my out of touchness. It's fine. So what do you think of Jason Voorhees coming to Fortnite? I think that's cool. I think that's cool. Give her Bully Ray glasses. I gotta give her like the obnoxious curvature though. I gotta give her, like, that obnoxious curvature. I mean, I'm more excited for Fallout coming to Fortnite. If I'm being 100% honest with you. Like... Chat. Is it wrong to say that...
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
I may have to hold that thought. No, I do not have to hold that thought. Make her into a genetic freak. If anyone is a genetic freak, it should be Applejack. She could do math really well. Well, okay, well then I need to give her the Steiner fit. At that point, I have to give her a Steiner fit, chat. All right, I need to give her skirt. 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 It looks so, like, lumpy, doesn't it, chat? You gotta, like, find a way to tuck this in. Because this is weird. Just earned some V-Bucks in Fortnite Save the World. Sick. Gosh, the weather outside is so nice. The weather is nice right now, yes. Rainbow Dash, you only have a 20% chance of being me at Sacrifice. Chad, I feel like I need to change the shirt. I feel like I need to change the shirt to something smaller. Or something thinner. Or something that doesn't hang down as low. Give me a second. I can give it like a striped pattern, right? Not the shirt. Sorry, I had to. Carbon fiber? Holy shit. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna check something here. Give me a second. But no, what I was saying earlier, chat. This is gonna be the fairest ref this company has seen, I swear. But no, chat. I'm gonna be honest. There are a lot of things that I've not seen. You know? Like, I know that a lot of my audience, and I say this in the nicest way possible, is nerds. They're into kind of like more, I guess, typical nerdy stuff, I guess. But the truth is, I have limited knowledge on a lot of things. I spend a lot of time working on shit. And, you know, I honestly would like to be able to just say, you know, I do not know about this thing, or I don't know about that thing, because I genuinely just don't. And that's not to really say I can't contribute anything to the conversation, but more to just say, be like, hey, I don't know about this thing. Maybe talk to me about it like I'm 5 years old, right? Talk to me about like I'm like 5 years old. Like, oh, have you seen Halloween? No. Have you seen most of Friday? Have you seen most of Friday the 13th? No. Have you seen most classic wrestling? No. I've not. Because I'm born in 1999 and I'm a 2000s kid mostly. You know? 5-year-long boy. Okay, so in Japan, women wrestle in the 80s. This is good. And currently, what I am only watching now. A lot of people I know only watch, like, Joshi wrestling. Where's, like, the version of Twilight here that has, like... Okay, she has, like, a long skirt. She's got the long skirt. Alright, I'm gonna try and go as long as I can with this skirt here.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break,
I
my
sure
dudes.
haven't, and I go back a while for retro wrestling. Have you ever seen a Bruno Sammartino match? No, I've not. I know about Bruno Sammartino, right? But if you told me to name any of his matches, I'd be like, I'd be like, no. I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I do not know, chat. And that is your signal to help me know, you know? I would like to know about more things. Rather than just pretend that I know about things, because there's a lot of things I don't know shit about. And I'm tired of pretending that I'm smart when I'm not smart. I bet Bob Backlund could still out cardio me in a gym. It's wild, and it's wild to be just old enough to remember the Attitude Era, but not old enough to remember it well. Means I got weird 2000s era WWE on my TV mostly. I got into wrestling like in like 2010-ish. So like that was like at the peak of the PG era stuff. And obviously, you know, your mileage varies on shit like that. I like Bruno's stuff. It might be a bit slow for a lot of people, but I find it nice.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Rob rolls on after this. While we do that, I'm gonna keep poking around for some shit.
The Rugrats movie is a 2D
Oh my god, this
side-scroller just like
bullshit.
Mario. However, the challenge level is low, and the jumping control is awkward. When bouncing on balloons, you have to press the jump button long before you land on the balloon. Plus, the items have no tangible effect on gameplay, and the strong character development of the PlayStation title is sadly missing.
The character development of the PlayStation title, chat.
In fact, we've been meaning to show you just how great the
That's
game
what you
is.
play a
To give
Rugrats
you an
game
idea
for,
of the
right?
outstanding level setups and strong characterization, sit back for a few minutes and enjoy some hilarious clips from the Rugrats PlayStation game. We'll be back with Gex.
Oh, that's better. You look a little sick, Angelica. Ah! Ew. Let's go clean you up. I haven't golfed in ages. I'm taking the kids for ice cream, Deed. This is gonna be great.
Uncle Stu, where's the ice cream?
What's a Bruno match kind of style?
Ice Cream Mountain. That's where I'm gonna get a hole-in-one and win you kids so much ice cream you'll be eating until you're grown-ups. So what if it's never been done before?
We just gotta get the balls in the holes, and we'll get a whole mountain of ice cream. If we all do some, we'll be done in no time.
I got another French ad, LMAO. It probably has a lot of rest holds, yeah.
Potato salad.
Pop, don't.
What's like the longest one I can do?
Potato salad sticks to my teeth, so I'm taking them out.
If you do, nobody else will be able to eat. Please, Pop, just stick to Jell-O molds.
This'll be our
Om nom nom.
secret.
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. We're trying to make this work still.
My gums into that potato salad.
All right, we gotta put a lot of these on.
Ah! My teeth! That confounded dog stole my teeth! I can't play my trumpet without my teeth!
We got to get Grandpa's teeth back. After no time.
I got off-brand Slim Jims ads. Slim Jims need to get it together and sponsor Stev.
Chucky, come on, we got to find Spike.
They're too stubborn. They wouldn't do it. They don't have the guts. They don't have the guts. They don't have what it takes. I feel like this is the closest we're gonna get to getting the cutie mark stuff, chat. Something like that. He was also a brawler and a tough customer, so my buds who hadn't seen him was a bit shocked at that. Then they'd have to admit they ripped off the Long Boy Club. They would. They would. They would absolutely have to. But no, chat, I'm gonna be honest. If you try and approach me with like, you know, like with like stuff from like the 80s and 90s, unless it's like music, I'm going to I'm going to nod, right? I'll nod. Like, yeah. Uh-huh. Because that stuff is all before my time. It is all before my time. Which is not to say I don't want to learn about those things or see them. It's just that, you know, don't expect me to know anything about them because I probably don't. Don't expect me to. I've seen some Superstars episodes on YouTube before they were yanked down. Oh, what? Like the old Superstars? Like the one from like back in the Hogan era?
Stampede!
Not the one. Cornelius. With the Long Boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. Hello there. Thank you so much for rating on in. For those of you who are unaware, my name's Giraffe7. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we're still... I'm gonna be honest. We are wrapping up here in probably not much longer. Because we are making the Equestria Girls characters right now. In WWE 2K24. We've been having a lot of fun tonight. It's been great. It's been fun. But I will admit, I'm just another WWE streamer. But take that guy out back, whoever that is. Take him out back and give him a stern talking to. Oh, you're Cornelius. You're like corn. Okay, I get you. That's cute. I like that. I'm just another WWE streamer. Well, I also like wrestling games. I'm over here creating like the Equestria Girls characters. We're gonna put them in a big old fucking gauntlet match here once they're all done. Although our time here is almost over.
Hello, Mario.
Our time here is almost over because it is almost 4 in the morning. And oh, I run a fed, lol. Thank you for the follow, Corn. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Can I call you Corn? Like the band? I like to try and shorten people's names. Cool, thank you. She needs like loafers almost. It's like the shoes that you like fill up like with gasoline, chat. Here, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Let's see. I gotta go. It's getting late. Great work on the Equestria Girls wrestlers. Thank you. Thank you. You have a good night, Dan. Thank you for hanging around. I appreciate it. Everyone does. Everyone does what? My brain is like in one ear and out the other. Apologies. You think Twilight has fake Jordans? She probably doesn't know what Jordans are. I feel like she spends so much time reading that she just doesn't know what Jordans are at all. So if you tell her that her J's are fake, she's gonna be like, my friend Applejack is not fake. I like making calls and stuff. I've enjoyed the process of making these, even though it's been a complete clusterfuck the whole time. Like, the entirety of this whole creation process has been just scuff central. And full of things that don't look like how they're supposed to look. It's fun to watch you cook. Like, listen. I'm saying all this as if, you know, I'm, like, upset about it. I'm not. I think that part of the charm of this is that, you know, things look so amateur, you know? I think that's, like, part of the charm of this. If everything looked good, there wouldn't be any fun in it, you know? If everything looked good and like how it should be, then where's the fun in that? You know? I love like taking stuff that doesn't seem like it would work and then making it work. So she has like square glasses almost. They're like rectangular. I love John Morrison. Eyeglasses. Well, those would be the ones that we need. But I don't think we're going to be able to get those. Goggles. Oh, Dan, TNA uploads a lot of old matches on their YouTube. They do! That's like genuinely like one of the best parts of like their whole thing, honestly. That's like genuinely like one of the best parts of their whole presentation. That they like put up like old old matches and like whole entire pay-per-views on their YouTube. Well, chat, I don't know if it's the glasses or if I'm just tired, but this looks like a librarian. This shit looks like a librarian. She like looks like she's gonna come around and like, so I'm saying goodbye for now. Thank you so much for stream. She friggin' looks like a librarian. Also, Keebs, you actually just came back just in time to see the end. Librarian gimmick mixed with Scott Steiner. Okay, chat. I'm gonna cut you a deal, okay? This will be our little in-joke, okay? Twy gonna shush the pyro guy. She'll like tell you like where like your missing copy of Daring Do in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is. Where is your copy of Daring Do? It is 5 weeks. It is 5 weeks overdue. I haven't left yet. I was just getting ready. Haha. Well, listen. I'm adding one more thing. It's gotta be here, chat. We need to have it. We gotta have it. Please. 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 I need this. I need this so bad, chat. You don't understand. Where is it? Please tell me it's here. Hooded clothing. This is probably where we're gonna find it. No. Headgear. How about that? Headgear? Headgear. 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 Please. Please. I need the chains. I need the chainmail, chat. You have no clue. I need the chainmail. She German suplexed you into a pile of books for having a late rental. I like to overdress, so it took a second, lol. Valid. You're probably rocking that shit, though. You go and fucking own it. I just realized that the freaking... no, chat. I just realized that whatever we try to do here, we're just not going to be able to, because, like, the big fucking ponytail is in the way, and we're not going to be able to... Is it not under helmets? Let's see. I know the chainmail is in here. I've seen it. I've seen it in this video game, chat. What is this, like, Optimus Prime thing here? It's like a Gundam thing. Chat. No. 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 It's over, chat. It's over. It's over, chat. It's so over. Without head accessories. I've checked there like 5 times. It's so over. Unless it's in masks. Face covers? No. 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 We won't be able to do nothing finer than the 69er with Scott Steiner, chat. The dream is dead. It'll be just out of reach, unfortunately. I'm like looking everywhere. I'm trying to find this shit. Unless it's like in generic and I'm just not seeing it. Where is it? Where is it? Settling once more, people. Please. Fuck yeah! Let's go. Let's fucking go. No, go back. Go back. Go back. There. It's right there. It's right there, chat. We did it. She can tell you the odds. Samoa Joe can't handle her at Sacrifice. Alright. Alright, can I actually have, like, anything, like, resembling hair, though? Or is she just gonna be, like, bald while we do this? It's like, what happens if I duck out? Okay, it kind of works. It kind of works. But, like... we need to go further. We need to go further with it. That hair color. There you go. He's fat! Would you rather be with Joe? God damn it, chat. We did it! We did it! Now she... Okay, but now she looks even more like a librarian somehow. Do you see this? No, wait, no. Go back. No! No, come on! Come on. Okay. Well, hold on. I don't have no cheeseburgers in my pockets. Don't talk during the do not talk during the backswing, chat. No one talk during the backswing. I don't have any sugar for you. God damn. All you gotta do is shake your hips and whip your ass out, and the daddy will make you pass out. So on and so forth. Why would you put this in generic? This is not generic, it is Scotty Steiner. This here looks like... Okay, but this right here literally does just look like the librarian is gonna, like, give you a suplex. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this and you tell me that we're not just taking the piss. There's absolute... Why does the moon go down at night? My favorite Scott Steiner moment is, like, during the main event Mafia days, right? And where he's in, like, the backstage area, and he has, like, a child's putt-putt club, right? And he's like, don't talk during the backswing, and he just completely misses it, and then he gives up after one swing. It is genuinely the funniest Scott Steiner content of all time. I would not mind him coming back just to, like, do goofy stuff like that. I'm gonna find the backswing, chat, and then we're gonna end off on that. Also, we've been, like, consistently over 20 this whole time. I don't know why you guys are still here. But thank you. I don't know why you guys are still here. I don't know how you're still awake, I should say. Because we've been going for, like, 3.5 hours, and it's over 4:30. Signers legitimately like that in real life sometimes, apparently. I mean, like, I'll be honest. It sounds fun. It's fun for TV. In real life, Scott Steiner is probably, like... Scott Steiner sounds insufferable. Like, he sounds like when you gather around, like, the Thanksgiving table... You're, like, nervous when he's there. Not because you think he's gonna, like, spout some politics, but because you think he's gonna say something about, like, about, like, his favorite SpongeBob episode or something. Or, like, his, best, like, golf outing. And how, like, while he was on the golf course, he was able to score... He scored 2 babes. You look at the turkey and he'd be like, this isn't big enough. He wouldn't talk about, like, his controversial political opinions. He'd talk about, like, just basic information that he forgot. Because he's Scott Steiner. You know? Like, you talk about how, like, your fucking grandma, Gertrude's house. He talk about how your fucking Aunt Gertrude's house was 5 turns left instead of 3. And he'd be shouting about that for, like, 3 straight minutes. And everyone would just sit there and, like, just nod along. And he would also give the math equation for why he thought it was 5 left turns instead of 3. I feel like he'd call me buddy in the most condescending way. He really would, though. He really would. Didn't he ram a security gate with his truck? Like, in real life? But no, like... He would, like... He would, like, have the equation for you, and he wouldn't even, like, show his work. He would just keep going, and he would remember every bit of it. Because even though he forgets basic info, he's like a fucking, like, doctorate. He's like a PhD in mathematician, you know? There ain't no one smarter than the 69er with Scott Steiner. But no, like, the chainmail just makes it look like Twilight's gonna suplex you. No, chat. That is the end of our time here tonight. I appreciate everyone for fucking being here this long. Like, seriously, we had a lot of fun tonight, and we'll be back here tomorrow night with more of this bullshit. But first, let's see if there's somehow someone that is still live. Let's see if there's someone that's still alive. Long Boy Club for life. Exactly. I appreciate all of you. Seriously. Ugh. But I am tired. I am tired. I'm gonna make sure I'm not looking mad. Make sure I don't look mad while I'm trying to like talk with y'all. Who haven't we rated in a while? Does anyone have suggestions? I mean, we are doing like a pony thing, so we could rate another pony streamer. I've not rated Pure Blue Heart ever. We could absolutely try that. In fact, yeah, let's do that. Right now, they're playing Elder Scrolls Skyrim, actually. They're playing Skyrim. Ash and Dice. We rated him last week. I want to rate someone else. I want to rate someone that we haven't really rated yet. Pure Blue Heart. Also a fellow member of the Twitch Trot community. They're really cool, really talented, really, really hardworking. Go over there and give them some Long Boy Club love, as I know that all of you will. Thank you, once again, everyone, for hanging out with me tonight. If you're not done so already, I would appreciate a follow on the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers by October 2nd for Wrestling Empire. Join the Discord server. We have a lot of fun over there, including weekly watch-alongs. We are going to be finishing up My Little Pony Franchise Magic Season 6 in the Discord server this weekend. Y'all should have fun. Rather, like, y'all should come over there and join us for it. We have fun over there. For now, though, I am very tired. I'm very tired. I'm going to go get some sleep. Hopefully, I'll see you all tomorrow, and I'll be back here for the last of these characters with my pal Tina, or your pal Tina, as she goes by. We'll be back with her tomorrow night. It'll be fun. It'll be great. Y'all have a good day, okay? Bye.